Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And if you look to the bottom right-hand corner, live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, you will see our friend Chris Gwaltney from thehumidor.com, where you can get everything cigar-related. It's the cigar arms and legs of the ABC Fine Wine and Spirits body.
And I've got a question for Chris right off the bat, because I had a cigar encounter over the weekend.
Right in his butthole.
God damn it. We can't put that.
I know.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm good, guys. Doing great.
So quick question. My neighbor who lent me some advice about my boat trailer.
So you got to give it back?
Well, all the neighbors came out. While I was working on my trailer to give their 2 cents about how to change bearings.
He basically lives in the burbs. You've got Suntan Sally, you've got Dr. Ghoul, Pappy Ghoul, you've got the black lady with a knife in her bra, and you've got cool race car man.
No, the race car lives now where the black lady with the knife in her bra.
Oh, that's too. You know what? That's too bad. That's too bad because she was a season 3 favorite character.
Now it's the wrestlers. The wrestlers.
Okay.
But Chris, he let me borrow a buffer. He saw me cleaning my boat, and then a pressure washer nozzle. Anyway, he was very nice.
Awfully erotic with cigar, buffer, nozzle.
But he came out with, he just bought a whole pack of cigars, like a box.
But I don't think they're called packs.
Well, like he was holding it in like a see-through plastic pack, and I saw all the cigars in there. I don't know if he likes them too fancy.
What did he say? Like, hey, you want a stick?
No. But he was smoking one, and then I thought to myself, I'm going to get my neighbor some cigars as a thank you because he helped me out.
That's good.
And
that's also totally not something you would do.
What is just a basic good cigar? I don't know much about what he likes, but something that everybody likes that would appreciate.
That's a great question.
Just anything. I don't know. You kind of put me on the spot with picking out, because it's really difficult for me without to get something like specifically for the person that they're going to like, not knowing what they smoke. But in that situation, I would err on the side of caution and get him something that if he's a mild smoker, if he's not a seasoned smoker, doesn't smoke a lot of strong cigars. If you don't know, then you always want to go with something that's not overpowering, just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to give somebody a cigar that's going to make them sick and they're not going to enjoy it. So I don't know, man. I would focus on that mild to medium strength feel, and on our website you can sort the cigars by strength. And I would stay in that. I would stay in that genre, and you should be okay.
Yeah, don't get like a 3-foot long strongest cigar.
It's like you get someone a 12-pack of beer, right? And you're like, well, I don't know if he's just like a regular Miller Lite guy.
I'm a dilly guy. You give me anything, I'm happy.
Or if he's like a craft beer. So a good go between middle is like a
neutral,
Yingling. Yeah. Right? It's like
sure, yeah.
You get a 12-pack of
like
Yingling.
A Yingling of cigars.
And then it's like, So is there something like that?
Yeah. Well, another thing too, we have all these different sampler packs that we do in house. So we have them by strength. So you can get a mild, you can get a medium, you get a full body. We have different variations. So,
and if you use our code, here's what
takes the guesswork out of it.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do, because you're Big D Plant Daddy, right? You get him mild, medium, and like something a little full flavored. Get him all 3 packs. Use our code. You'll save the money. Then he'll be really happy, and you can say, hey, I didn't know what flavor profile you like, so I just got you all of them. The other ones, feel free to hand them out to your buddies, or I'll smoke one with you.
All of them. He just lent me a pressure washer nozzle. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy. I gave it back to him.
But he gave you advice. He stood out there and helped you with your hub.
Well, the advice, to be honest, I knew what he was saying. No. I knew better.
I knew that this whole buying the gift thing was a ruse.
I'll get him one medium sampler pack. I feel like that is
cheap ass.
Not even cheap. That is a fair trade for lending me a pressure washer nozzle that I gave back to him in a buffer.
Chris, is that going to cut it for Tom if he gets one medium sampler pack?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh no, man. Sometimes no gift is better than a cracker barrel.
Damn.
Hold on.
I like that answer.
One
It's
medium
like,
sampler.
If you don't give him a gift, if you don't give him a gift at all, he'll be just like, well, it's not no big deal. But if you give him a gift and it's like really cheap, like one cigar, he's like, wow. He actually,
It's an insult.
It's a pack. One cigar. No, I want the sampler pack. Like
Sampler.
How many?
You don't even know what he's smoking, so get him the 3. Get him a mild and a medium,
but it's a pack.
and then a full flavored, and get him all 3. And then it's impressive to say, didn't know what you wanted, so I just got you all of them.
Yeah, but there's a whole pack. Like
Get the 6-pack sampler.
Yeah.
What's that gonna run cheap ass here?
One medium.
It depends. There's different ones. We got the Camacho, the Ashton, the Rocky Patel.
Oh, I
What do
want
you
the Camacho.
You want the
I was
Camacho?
a one medium Camacho, please.
That's $48.99 for the same.
Whoa, okay, hold on.
That's too cheap.
That's 6 cigars.
I mean, he didn't give me the nozzle. He just lent it to me. I mean,
He'll give you the nozzle.
Yeah, you're about to
They
get the
got
nozzle.
something.
Well, you wanted the Camacho.
$15 one
$15?
cigar. I'll get one cigar.
You are not a good person.
What are you talking about?
Man.
You can get the Ashton for $39.99.
Chris, I can't
hold
believe
on.
he's cheaping
What's
out.
15% off that? We're talking Improv.
No, I'm not letting you use your code. I'm not letting you
Hold
use
on.
our code.
All right, I'm sorry, Chris. Actually, we have speaking of questions, we have a bunch of cigar-related questions. Normally, like, I wanted to talk NFL with you because I get
you're
excited.
switching from baseball to NFL.
Yeah. Well,
well,
the season's coming up.
Tis the season, Sam.
But I figured, since this is for thehumidor.com
Right,
and Top
right.
Cigars,
Yeah,
that
so nice of you.
we,
works.
Samantha got
I like how Chris says it works.
well, Chris wanted to talk NFL too.
Of course he did.
So, what kind of questions do we got?
All
from
right, the
mediums?
first one we have, they want to know what your desert island smoke is, as in the only cigar you can have stuck on an island.
that's
Also,
good.
maybe what Vitola is his favorite. I hope I said that right. That's the cigar
Yeah, you
size
did.
and shape.
Oh.
All right, cool.
Let's start with the one that I can answer without
right.
pissing off half the cigar world. My favorite Vitola or size would definitely be, for me, it would be Lancero, which is a small, smaller ring gauge cigar, about the smallest, skinniest cigar you're going to get outside of a cigarillo. And I like that size because it's all wrapper leaf. So there's not a lot of filler in it, and you're getting a lot of wrapper influence on the cigar. So I like the Lancero. If you can't find a Lancero, you'll see Lonsdale's a little bigger. You'll see Coronas, which are a little bit kind of in between a Toro and the Corona. So yeah, that's my go-to. That's my favorite size. It's a Lancero. Doesn't sell great. They're expensive, so people don't like buying a long, skinny cigar when they can get seems like a better value. Cigar. It's kind of a perceived value thing, so they don't sell really well.
Sure.
I think they just make them for people that work in the industry and the cigar makers themselves because it's not a real popular thing.
Yeah, you got to be kind of in it to appreciate it, I guess.
Do they make them like girthier too,
Oh,
fatter? As far as do they only go up to a certain?
They make some that are like tuna cans, and you just got to put your lips on it. You use the punch, and you just put your lips on the tuna can, and you just suck the smoke out of it. It covers your whole face. It's like putting a Frisbee in front of your face.
Besides from novelty, dude, what's the thickest cigar that people still,
Appreciate, yeah.
That people smoke every day. I mean, the 60 ring gauge is what you're talking. That 64. If it were 64, a 64 ring gauge, that'd be a full inch in diameter, right? So the ring gauge is done by 64 hundredths of an inch or whatever is a full inch, right? So 60 is just 4/10 or whatever off of being a full inch. So it's very close to being a full inch in diameter. That's pretty big. That really is kind of a recent phenomenon. People used to be the biggest cigar you would find. I remember when La Gloria was making the 56 ring gauge. People were like, oh my God, that's too big. So 50, 52 was always kind of the big boy. But now 60 is, and now you have 70. We sell a lot of 70 ring gauge cigars that people smoke. So people, the folks that enjoy those cigars, it's a longer smoke because the thicker the cigar, the more round, the more girth as you use the cigar has, the longer it's going to smoke. It's also going to be a cooler smoke. And I think another reason why they're very, very popular is because a lot of folks smoke cigars too fast. And if you smoke a smaller cigar really fast, it's going to heat up on you, and it's going to get bitter and heat up. And you're going to get some bitterness in there. And I think that the big ring gauge cigars is kind of like a safety net, or it's really difficult to heat one up because you got so much tobacco,
right?
So much filler tobacco in there. So
That's
people that smoke fast, which my point is, the whole point of smoking cigars is to slow down, not smoke fast. But
right.
Look, man, if people want to buy 90 ring gauge cigars or 120 ring gauge cigars, I'll have them for you. You know, it's whatever the public wants, the public gets, right? So. But for me, I like the little guys.
All right.
Thank you. You didn't have to say that. I like the little guys too.
Next question, Sam.
Did you not want to answer? You want to skip over that desert island one?
Oh yeah. Why you think that'll really make people mad?
Oh yeah, man.
But it's all preference,
look,
right?
man. That's just a roundabout way to ask me what my favorite cigar is. And here's my standard answer when people ask me, "What's your favorite cigar?" I say, "I haven't smoked it yet."
I like that non-answer.
I say that about my wife.
But there's also and it seems like just like beer and other things, it depends on the situation,
the mood, the situation, the weather.
So if you're on a deserted island, what's the best cigar for that?
Oh yeah, that's true. Tom's right. If you answer this logically and just use you said desert island,
best cigar for a beach.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know, desert island cigar, I could tell you, probably thinking of the provisions you'll have to get by on. You're probably going to have a lot of food. It's going to be difficult to get water. So probably smoking a full-bodied cigar would be the right thing to do. So let's just say I'd probably, if I'm stuck on a desert island, I'm probably going to smoke mild cigars.
All right.
Yeah, and you can use some of the filler tobacco in those mild cigars to treat a bee sting.
That's true. That is true.
There's too many bees at islands. So I don't
know, man.
Here's the plot twist. This whole movie takes place on Bee Island.
My Animal Crossing island. A lot of bees.
Buddy.
A lot of bees.
Joke's on you.
What is your favorite cigar accessory? Like a cutter, lighter, ashtray, or memorabilia?
My favorite accessory, probably my favorite accessory. It's kind of hard because there's a couple you need. You don't need a cutter. You know, you have to have fire, so you need some type of way to smoke a cigar. But I think probably my favorite, like, recent accessory that I think is really cool, it's kind of changed things and makes things easier for me is probably the travel humidors. Like, they're almost like Pelican case style humidors in conjunction with really good passive humidification pouches. I think it's really nice to be able to travel and your cigars are going to be taken care of. They're going to be protected. They're going to be humidified. They're not going to get damaged. You have on an airplane, those cases have the little pressure relief valve. So when you get off the plane, you don't have to kill yourself trying to open the case because it's vapor locked. So I really think those, for me, for someone who travels a lot and stuff, I think is a really, really cool accessory. My favorite, from a memorabilia standpoint, I get a lot of cool swag and memorabilia. Probably my favorite, like, thing that I wouldn't use, but it's like a gift or something somebody gave to me, is probably some tobacco. I got in Tampa, the J.C. Newman Cigar Factory. They have a bale, the famous bale of Cuban tobacco, and it's the last bale of Cuban tobacco in the city. And back in the day when the Cuban embargo happened and people ran out of Cuban tobacco, the old man, Mr. Newman, Stanford Newman, left a bale of Cuban tobacco in the basement of the factory. And that way, if someone asked him, does J.C. Newman Cigar Company still have Cuban tobacco, he could probably say, yes, we still have Cuban tobacco. Now, he wasn't putting it in the cigars, but technically he wasn't lying. He had a bale of tobacco in the basement. And a couple of years ago, Bobby Newman gave me a bag of that tobacco, so I got some of those leaves.
That's cool, man.
That is cool.
That's way cooler than Butler's Rusticles from the Titanic. This guy lied and said he had Rusticles from the Titanic. He'll do anything to get friends. It's embarrassing.
Another question, Sam?
Our last question. We need you guys in the Cigar Enthusiast group to send us some questions for Gwaltney each month. It says, people love to praise Cuban cigars as the best, but we know differently. What non-Cuban cigar would he put up against any Cuban in a blind test?
Well, two answers. First of all, I put any cigar, non-Cuban cigar, up against Cuban cigars because the first I know we've talked about this, but and I don't want to stereotype Cuban cigars because it's not fair because people stereotype Dominican cigars in one flavor and they stereotype all Nicaraguan cigars to be in this thing. But so I don't want to say all Cuban cigars are one dimensional and they're power sticks, right? That's not true. But that is what Cuban cigars are known for. Cuban cigars are known to be a really full-bodied smoke, earthy, powerful cigar, and that's what people expect out of a Cuban. So it's not really I'm negatively stereotyping them. That's what people are searching for in a cigar, and that's what they're known for. So I would say that if you want to stay within that same kind of system, a Cuban-esque non-Cuban brand, I would look at a couple to jump to mind would be, George Padron with Padron Cigars. I think Padron Cigars can make a cigar, especially some of their older anniversary series cigars. I think they're more complex than a lot of the Cubans, but I think there's a lot of those characteristics in the cigars. Don Pepin makes a lot of Cuban style cigars. Don Pepin of My Father Cigars. We sell a lot of My Father cigars, and I think most people would tell you that you can find a lot of Cuban-esque, but a lot of cigar makers, almost every cigar maker, they will make, a lot of them will have a Cuban style cigar in their portfolio. They'll make something that's powerful and in that vein.
That's interesting.
That's why I always laugh when people say Dominican cigars are mild when they take Cuban seed tobacco from Cuba, which is not too far away, and plant it there, and you get some of the strongest tobacco you would ever smoke. And some of the strongest tobacco I've ever smoked has been Havana Piloto grown in the DR. So you can make a really Cuban style cigar in the Dominican Republic. So, but yeah, I think that's a huge debate. I always love it when I see someone post, I think Cuban cigars are overrated, or I think Cuban cigars are the best. I just jump down in the comments, get my popcorn out, and I just scroll.
Yeah. Because people start going back and forth.
People, it's so polarizing. It's like people, they feel like they got to defend, either hate them or love them, and there's no middle ground.
It's like Ford, Chevy, right? I mean, you look in the comments and you see people, just because somebody else doesn't like it, I think most people, it's human nature to want to defend something that you like because it's a part of you. So I get it. I've fallen prey to it and done it myself. So I completely understand it. But yeah, those are the ones that you're never going to have the correct answer. So smoke what you like, right?
And also, it seems like there was a huge marketing aspect of that Cuban cigar thing where
everybody in my age group knew what it was like to have the shadiest friend of your dad come over and say he had Cuban cigars. That's a thing.
Because
it's been in movies, it's been in TV shows. It's a stereotype of shady friend comes over and is like, hey, not supposed to have these. I got Cubans, right? That's a thing.
Yeah, because you couldn't get them because of the embargo or whatever, the trade deals. So it's like you couldn't get your hands on them. So if you did get your hands on them, they were rare. And then it became like
like an urban legend.
The whole thing, especially within Florida.
Because we're trash down here. We're swamp trash, and we like smoking things and burning things.
And then the amount of Cubans in Florida is a lot has to do with, especially here,
and we're close.
The movies, and
Tampa. I mean, it's the perfect storm around here, man. It's like, and golf courses, cigar land. We're in cigar land.
It's true.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we are definitely in the cigar world. I think actually today we drop a new YouTube video on our YouTube channel every week, and I think today is the video that's going out is golf course cigars. Cigars on the course.
Let's talk about that for just a quick segment, and to drive people to check out this video. By the way, Sam, can you remind me later? I need to subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I have. I apologize for that. We're trying to grow our YouTube as well. When you're on the golf course, I mean, obviously, you want to keep that thing, like, I guess, going or burning or lit. Like, how do you maintain it? Is there a thing you can... Should you carry your own ashtray? You don't want to set it in your easy golf and then burn it through the plastic dashboard. Like, what do you do?
Right. Here's the rule number one. If you're a cigar person and you smoke cigars and you're going to play around in golf, whether it's you're in a foursome with 3 people you know, or maybe there's a buddy of yours and then 2 people you don't really know that well. You, being a cigar smoker and part of the cigar culture, it is your responsibility to bring enough cigars for everybody, right? So you bring cigars, and I can tell you right now, that's rule number 1. Bring assortment of cigars, mild. Bring some mild ones. Bring full body, whatever. Number 2, I'm telling you, you'll make this mistake once and you'll never do it again. Bring at least enough cutters and lighters for each golf cart, if not a minimum of 2. But I would have 1 for every person on the course, because I can tell you right now, if you don't, all day long, you're going to be trying to line up a putt, or if you're me, you're over in the woods looking for your ball and somebody's shouting at you, hey, toss me your cutter, toss me your lighter. And the third thing I would say is, people ask, what's the best golf course cigar? And like, for me, I know I talked about it earlier, I don't like the big cigars, but if you're going to smoke a big ring gauge cigar, I think the golf course is the best place for it, because you're going to be picking it up and putting it down, and it's a little bit hardier and it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit easier to keep lit. So I think a golf course is a good time for the big cigars. But the key is variety, having enough accoutrements for everybody that's playing, so they're not bothering you, because if you're like me, you already suck at golf enough. You don't need people shouting at you, disrupting your next hack attempt. Of course, it's a good time for big cigars.
I love it.
Well,
that's great advice, and we'll be sure to check out the. What's the name of your YouTube page? Is it the Humidor on?
It's youtube.com/thehumidor.
It's not the Humidor official.
The Humidor official. So find that one and get on in there. And hey, Chris, always a pleasure talking to you, man. Thanks so much for the time. Any specials or anything that
next
our guys?
Time we'll talk sports.
Yeah.
Next time we'll talk sports, man. The NFL will have started by then. My Jaguars will probably be 0-2, and life will be normal again.
Well, it didn't help that you just lost Travis Etienne, who was a great prospect, and that's.
Did it in the season? Because the last I saw, they were deciding whether or not they thought
he may. Maybe come back at the late part. And maybe,
it was an Achilles deal, right?
Some weird foot surgery. Yeah. I'm not sure. Like he had some sort of problem.
Liz Frank injury. It's like an inner foot bone thing or whatever. I never heard of that injury until like 4 years ago, and all of a sudden all these people started having it.
Yeah, and it's super complicated from what they were saying. Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm with you. Well, I don't know what that is.
They used to just shoot you up with cortisone.
Now we're worried about athletes' health and mental health.
Anyway, Chris, it was good talking to you. We'll talk to you next month.
See you,
all
man.
Right, fellas. Take it easy.
Yeah,
right,
be good, man. That is Chris Gwaltney, live from some ABC, I'm guessing.
Some Humidor.
Now, he had a few little hiccups here and there with the internet, but I'm still gonna say better than most.
Yeah.
Better than most, and I think he's using like a Wi-Fi puck, like a 5G.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't.
We'll see.
All right, we'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. This is really cool, man, because, in Florida, we're open, baby. We have been open, baby. And the Improv, our friends at the Improv are wide open, and they want you to roll through and check out probably, in my opinion, the greatest room that we've had. We've had 2 Improvs here in Orlando, one on Church Street, and then we have the one on I Drive, and the one on I Drive is the one that I love. TheImprovOrlando.com to get tickets. I will let you do the honors, sir.
Yep, she's going to be there 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday, so get your tickets, TheImprovOrlando.com. But with us today, Coco Brown. How you doing, Coco?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Great. Every comedian that we have in here, I guess, post when things, started opening back up, and the Improv started doing shows again, we always ask them what their experience during the shutdown was like and what they focused on. And everybody kind of had different answers. Some people wrote, some people did projects they never had time for before.
Yeah. We had some people that just said, I'm still going to stay out. We had a couple guys that were just like, I just stayed out on the road and just went to the places that were open.
So what did you do during the downtime? Or did you have any downtime?
I did all of the above. I mean, there were some clubs that were open that I took my chances and went, and, everything worked out.
Yeah.
Mostly in Florida.
Yeah. We know.
That's us. Yeah. We're the guys.
Mostly in Florida. You know, I also started a business.
Really?
I started a business. Yeah, I literally got into baking because I've always been a baker. My grandmother's had me baking when I was a little girl, and had some friends who liked to add certain things to my goodies. And it started a whole business called Coca's Craveables. It started on IG Live. I was on one night making her some brownies, and people were like, "I want some," and I'm like, "Well, where you at?" And it was,
wait a minute,
you like, this much.
Yeah. Well, wait. I may be wrong, but I just want to clarify. You said some stuff that they add to the brownies. Are we talking about marijuana?
Maybe.
Possibly.
We are actually,
but
one of our clients.
CBD. I started experimenting with CBD.
There you go.
And I ended up taking a class during the pandemic on CBD and the different, derivatives, isolates, tinctures. Learned how to make my own Coca Craveable concoction that would give you the wonderful experience of something that could get you fired from your job and not get you fired from your job. Okay.
Yeah.
And Coca's Craveables was born. I was making brownies and cookies and cupcakes and pound cakes and pies and infusing oils and butters. I mean, I just went all in, got a website, got licensed. I mean, I literally did all of this during the pandemic.
Awesome.
So I'm now licensed to make this and sell it in all 50 states.
That's so cool.
Then, I do have those people who still want it dirty. Mm-hmm. And
right. And you can get into a lot of trouble doing that. So, obviously, federally, we know that it's not, it's still, it is what it is. But
it's only legal in a few states. Yeah, right. Exactly. So I stick with CBD, but I take special requests.
Yeah. And we are actually sponsored by True Leaf Medical Marijuana. Our show is. So they're one of our clients. And so we actually have doctors on and we have growers on and we have people on all the time from there to talk about CBD and CBN and all these different derivatives, like you said, and tinctures. And, it's great stuff.
So, Coco, I'm curious, when this all started organically, but then when you started looking at like how to turn it into a business, like when did you even estimate how many orders you may get at first? Did you put a cap on it? Because sometimes you underestimate your popularity.
I have video of literally like 112 boxes sitting on my couch. There were days that I was in here baking and extracting.
What's awesome that you're doing it yourself, because
it was days, and it was like literally I took my grandmother's recipes and just added the CBD.
That's awesome.
So, rest in peace to Nellie and Mildred. I don't think they ever thought that their sour cream pound cake would do this, but
wait a minute. Now you're from, and I remember you're from Virginia. So I bet that pound cake tastes a lot like the pound cake that my relatives made that I talk about that I cannot make.
I promise you. I was fortunate to have such a eclectic background because my mom's mom is Creole. So let's add in all that New Orleans Bayou flavor, Creole flavor. And then my dad's mom was half Puerto Rican. So let's add on all that sazon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, that's cool.
So, so I was combining. So I was able to make so many different kinds of baked goods. I mean, I had someone order flan one time, and I said, I don't know how this don't ship, baby, but I'm gonna send it to you.
It's made to order. You get what you get.
I was gonna ask you about the shipping, because then, and a lot of businesses are trying to figure this out. The internet has opened it up where you can start a business and
game on, man,
instantly market to the world, right? But then the shipping part of it is old school, and the fact that you still got to ship the actual item from whoever picks it up to the customer. Correct. And then getting it there, there's tricks to it, and you learn those. So
learning how to properly package a sweet potato pie was rocket science, okay? But I mean, I learned, I figured it out. I mean, they were calling me going, girl, and they showed me the pie and it's all discombobulated. So I had to learn. It was a lot of trial and error during that time of figuring out how to ship. Like when I did my pineapple upside down cake, I learned send the cake send the pineapple topping separate.
Really?
And let them put it on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it was a very interesting pandemic for me. I was in here literally like the Black Betty Crocker.
Well, dare I
That's
say,
awesome.
if you send me a magic, I'll just call it a magic pie, and it just happens to fall apart in the box, knowing what it is, I'm still eating that pie. No one is
I
stopping
didn't get a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
I can name them on one hand.
I honestly don't care what it looks like. If it's a magic sweet potato pie, I'm happy.
So what's awesome, Coco, is the fact that you were actually cooking all these items yourself in your own kitchen.
Yeah,
Because
for your fans, that must have been, for people that love your comedy and love your acting, they must have been like, oh, I'm going to order this. It's like getting a better than an autograph.
Really, most of my promotion during the pandemic was on IG Live.
yeah.
I mean, I literally would be in the kitchen with my camera going, and I would just be providing commentary while I was making everything, whether it be the gummies, whether it be, the cakes or the pies, the brownies, the cookies, whatever. I would talk about the ingredients. I would bring people on, just random people. And, ooh, honey, I got some characters came on my IG Live. Honey.
I'm going to have to check this out. I'm checking it out.
Coco, I'm sure you're familiar with and a lot nowadays there's a lot of NBA players and stuff that have their own strands and they own dispensaries and farms and stuff, and you'll see the news, they'll be like, oh, this NBA player got his farm robbed or something, or got into some trouble, but most of the time they just invest into the company or put their name on a product and get paid for that or whatever it is, where they may have gone into the place and then smoked it and they're like, all right, I liked it or whatever. But
just send them some publicity photos.
I don't get high on my own supply. I have testers.
Well, I'm just saying they don't do it themselves and they're not really involved in it. They just put their name on it.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. I'm actually in negotiations with a company out of Vegas right now that wants to buy my gummies and put my face on it, but sell through their dispensary.
That's awesome. That's where you do it.
That's where the money is.
It's working, and then, once I got more into CBD, I began to create body creams and, pain creams and body scrubs. And then even my son has a line now called the Phoenix Edition, because there's a strain of CBD that you can use on children that helps calm them down. So I had a lot of parents buying the sugar scrubs and the kitty hand sanitizers for their kids. It was better than melatonin.
Yeah, mellow them out a little bit. I'm going to have to get on the website.
So I'm curious, you started this business, it's going well, you're building it.
Oh, by the way, you can still see her at the Improv, theimprovorlando.com.
And I'll have something with me.
There you go.
All right.
One show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Get your tickets. Online's the easiest way, and she has things.
So obviously you're still doing shows and you're touring. How do you balance that? Do you have some employees that handle this now?
Well, during the pandemic, I lost all my employees because they decided unemployment was better than getting a paycheck.
Okay. That happens a lot, I've heard.
So I was doing everything myself. I mean, I was booking my own shows. I was doing not only a few shows on the road, but mostly I was doing a lot of hosting and shows over Zoom and over, the internet or wherever. I was doing a whole conversations with Coca on IG Live, where I was interviewing people who had small businesses, trying to keep them afloat, trying to help them, keep their business going. And then, of course, the businesses, I was doing that, promoting that. Once the pandemic kind of, slowed down and we got back to somewhat normal, I did hire a staff. And it's literally a couple of high school kids, like high school and college kids, and their whole job is to package it up and ship it out, baby.
Yeah,
That's
I like it.
But it comes in handy because I'm still not comfortable letting somebody else mess with my baked goods. I still got to do it myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, because a lot of times the ingredients or the CBD, especially if you're making it or buying it or what, it's not, it can be expensive. You don't want people burning it, messing it up.
That isolate is no joke.
Yeah, it isn't. And then with baked goods,
something this big, and you got to know how to measure it and all that. It's a lot to it. The class I took was 6 weeks long and it was so intricate. I mean, but I learned so much about what CBD is and what it can do.
Man, 6 weeks long. Earlier on, you and I had done a commercial. This is when medical was just rolling out in Florida.
Yeah.
And we did a commercial for a course that would teach you about marijuana. It was like one of those motorcycle endorsement courses where they're like, come here on a Saturday and no matter what you're going to learn, you're getting your license. You'll never fail. Yeah, they're like, throw you on a motorcycle. They're like, you're endorsed no matter what. You paid us, so we were endorsing you. No
Well,
matter.
it's like scuba diving.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one's failing that.
But you took a 6-week. I mean, that's like
I
that's
took a
a
6-week course in between everything online to learn, but it got me certified that I'm able to, because I know a lot of the sites, that you get paid through, you have to be licensed to sell CBD on their sites. Like you can't just pop up and sell CBD.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So when I realized that, after a certain site shut me down,
right.
I had to get into my bag and make sure I was certified.
That's crazy.
Coco, I want to ask you real quick because you've done a lot of TV and you've been in the entertainment business a while, and so you know that industry. And we've seen a lot of other industries pivot because of the pandemic, and then now they do things different, and they'll never go back probably because this showed them that they could do it a cheaper way or whatever.
I mean, you look like you look
I
at
don't
like
know if we'll ever go back in the room again for an audition. All we do now is self-tapes. Where they send us the audition and we tape it ourselves, whether on a phone, a camera, a studio, whatever, and send it in. I'm wondering if we'll ever go back in the room again.
Interesting.
But it's actually good that way in a sense. I do like the interaction with the actual casting directors, but honestly, it's good. I get an audition. I can't say I can't make it because I'm not there. I just do it in a hotel room.
I feel you on the conversation, because we were talking about this last Friday. I'm a small talker. I'm a chirper. They call me a chirper because I like people. I like human beings.
Right.
So that interaction that you have with that casting director when you actually are in the room, the coming in, the audition is the audition. Take that out of play. But then you leaving and still having a rapport with that person, in a weird way, I kind of feel like that could make or break you.
No, totally. I mean, thank God that, I've had, a great repertoire with quite a few casting directors.
Sure.
Because what I did during the pandemic too, is I reached out. I was emailing and calling a few. Hey, just calling to check on you, staying in your radar.
Yeah.
And it paid off because when things started kicking back in, I was the first one to get a call for an audition. I even got a couple of offers where it was like, hey, this is so-and-so casting director. I got this role and I think it's perfect for you. You want it? So it pays off that I'm glad I built that relationship before the pandemic, but I really went above and beyond. I mean, I was sending care packages of my body scrubs and creams to these casting directors during the pandemic, just to stay on their radar,
That's smart though. That's investing in your brand, I mean.
You have to, because honey, it is who you know. Please believe it.
I think you said that last time we were here, and I like the no BS kind of you're like, yes, that is important.
No, it's totally who you know. You know what I'm saying? Because and now it's not only who you know, it's how many followers you got.
Right.
So, talent is the least of your worries. But it is. Talent's the least of your worries.
It's still a human industry, and that's what people like. You're not dealing with computers here. You're dealing with humans, and humans are biased, and relationships matter. So, Coco, do you think live studio audiences will ever come back? Like, I know something like an SNL, they you kind of have to do it. Yeah. But like other shows that like taping shows, I was watching Ridiculousness the other night, and I assume I'm like they're just playing the laugh track because they need that because we're used to hearing it without it's awkward. But I was like, they're never gonna bring a live studio. That's a big pain in the ass for the production.
Some are, because I was watching Kelly Clarkson yesterday, and she has a live studio audience.
Yeah, talk shows I think have been slowly bringing them back.
And I saw that. I said, oh, wait a minute, Kelly got an audience out there,
That's a lot of pissed off people getting tested before they walk in there.
Yeah, but a lot of them, are requiring vaccination.
Especially in New York.
Yeah, gotcha.
A lot of them, I just shot my 1-hour special during the Tribeca Film Festival, and no one could come see me do this special unless they were vaccinated.
Oh my God, there's a vaccine? Tell Florida! Tell Florida! Somebody tell all my relatives!
Well, I can understand like daytime TV is kind of designed for the live audience because there's so much interaction, but there's other shows that have just used live audience. I mean, even the late night shows and things like that because they like the reaction, but it's like they've learned, it's kind of like when the NFL was using the crowd noise. At the end of the season, when they had it dialed in, it was hard to even notice that they didn't have a crowd there, and it was like they just got better at it. And I imagine a lot of these shows that used to rely on live studio, and so they're like, we're just gonna pump in the noise, and it's just gonna be the same.
It was weird because I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
For me, we shot The Neighborhood, the show on CBS with Cedric Entertainer during the pandemic. And when I shot it the first time, we literally had a studio audience, and it was insane. It was like the energy was just insane. When I went back to shoot it again this past fall, no studio audience. Our studio audience was basically the writers, the producers, whatever. And it did feel a little weird, but at the same token, you just kind of go with the flow. The laughs weren't as loud as before, but they were still there. But I think a lot of the shows, they're going to have to, because I noticed that Wendy Williams now, she has people scattered about. And I've heard of a couple of other sitcoms that are shooting right now that they're bringing back in live audiences. They're just not doing it at capacity, and they have to be vaccinated.
Gotcha.
Now, let me see if I can get you to invest in my idea. If you want to start a third business other than being a brand and then your baked goods, what if we collectively start a crowd company where we hire all different people, and we diversify. We got to have every race, every size, everybody represented, right? But all of these people, their job is to stay healthy and vaccinated, and they can be the crowd at every place.
And they'll be extremely enthusiastic.
Yeah,
and they'll be enthusiastic. They'll know what to do. You'll never get it now.
It's like paid criers in China.
Yes, mourners.
It's actually a brilliant idea while you play it.
Yeah, somebody will do it, right?
I'm surprised they don't just have a bunch of
a bunch of healthy people that just sit there, and you got everybody. You got your Asian guys, your black guys, Puerto Rican guys, your white guys, your fat white guys. You got everybody in there, and then you're doing the thing, and then when they're done, those guys, that was their job, was just to sit there attentively.
Probably
That's actually a brilliant idea.
But it's probably too expensive because you, Coco, these production companies, like it's easier to get some homeless people off the street that'll just sit there for a free bagel than pay individual. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they rely on.
Because I remember many years ago, we were doing the new season of BET Comic View.
Yeah.
And that was the one that Kevin Hart hosted.
Yeah.
And instead of them like selling tickets and bringing in actual comedy lovers, they hired extras. Like they hired people. And when I tell you, them people sat in there like their only job was not to laugh. Like, I mean, they was mad. They was getting that little $75 a day. They was upset. And it was crazy. And if you were ever to go look back at that season, you'll see that comics were literally pulling out their souls, trying to get a laugh, because it wasn't that they weren't funny, it's that you had people in there that were getting a check and really didn't care. They were just there for the check.
My idea will not work.
You're right.
Yeah, you just busted my idea, and good on you, because it won't work unless the people want to be there and want to laugh. If you don't want to laugh, don't go see her. But
it's definitely one of those things. You can't have a room full of extras, because, I mean, I see when I tape sitcoms that have live audiences, they literally have to put a sign up, laugh now.
Yeah. I've noticed that too.
People are so selfish; they're just sitting there.
Like, Coco, have you noticed this? Where like you'll see, and this happens in stand-up a lot. Someone's stand-up special, the first two rows, which I assume are like comp tickets from friends and family,
people are like,
they're always the least enthusiastic.
They got shark eyes. There's nothing behind them.
And then that started to change, and people were be like, "Oh no, I sell the first two rows to actual fans." And then comp the tickets behind because I don't want I want the people to be enthusiastic and want to be there.
Right, exactly. No, seriously, I have literally seen the guy holding the sign, laugh now. They all.
Well, Coco, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Appreciate
Again,
it.
The Improv.
Thank you guys for having me. And come see me in Orlando, y'all. Come see me.
We'll definitely do. And it's a good thing you dropped that CBD bomb. Our guys are into that. So theimprovorlando.com. Go check her out. Get your tickets. And hopefully next time we'll get to see you in person, okay?
Yes, I would love to come see you guys again.
All right, be good.
See ya.
See ya. Oh, there she goes.
And you can get Coco's Cravables on her website.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So, I like it when I see people hustling.
Yeah.
And these are the inspiring hustlers that we come in here and they tell me what they do, and then I go, I'm inspired.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back.
Yep. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So just like Coco Brown started a company selling her
CBD treats
online, I think that whole thing plays into my concept of the internet spreading things out a lot. And so like in this scenario, So she's a stand-up and then also does a bunch of TV and movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with this other addition to this other revenue source or company, she's going to have to put some time to that company, right?
Yeah,
no matter what.
She got to do something.
Like some people could just put their name on it, but she's obviously not doing that. So that is going to inevitably, because you only have 100% of your time, right? So a chunk of it is going to go to her company, which will take away from either stand-up or movies, right?
Right.
Which will cause an employee deficit in that sense where she's not doing one of those jobs, right?
Okay.
And I think that
so that's the shift we're feeling right now?
Well, just like people can do it with Uber or like some sort of gig job or make money. It's just like the internet has made the ability for you to make money and everybody to make money, and that is taken away a certain amount of the jobs, or the
corporate jobs.
Yeah, the reason people need jobs.
It ties right into this right here.
That's a portion of it, at least. It seems to me.
This is perfectly on topic because we've been kicking this around. Let's try this.
Hey guys, Radio Shack Justin here. In the vein of the discussion about what side gigs people run and what is the best gig, I had one that was pretty effective in college and through my 20s. I was 19 in college, and that was probably about 2004, I think. I was able to apply for and qualify for a home loan and bought a house near UCF. It ended up being great and somewhat unorthodox long-term side gig because what I would do is while working and in college, I would simply find similar age folks looking for a place to live, and we just talk them into moving in with me and renting out a room to them, and we'd all just split utilities. So, like, as a 20-something person, it's hard to afford any mortgages that range from, like, $1,200 to $1,500. But if I split it amongst 4 total college kids, it worked out great. Because then you're only paying $400 or $500 a month, while 3 other folks are paying the rest of your mortgage and utilities. Then you move out, you rent into a family 4 years later, you buy another house, the same thing. Of course, when you're in your late 20s, it becomes a poor option to try to live with 2 or 3 other adults, and you have to drop that scenario, just kind of live with your spouse and yourself. But however, in the interim, I was able to buy 3 houses, completely pay off 1, and so I hand it off to you to key the conversation on what you think is the best side gig you've ever heard of. I'll hang up and listen.
I can't go wrong with a real estate side gig. I mean, if you're buying a house to pay for a house and buying another one to pay for one off in full, and then you've got one house that's almost paid for, one that you're paying, and then one that's fully paid, I don't know, man. I don't know if it gets much better than that. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I know some people that have just done this throughout their whole life, like buying houses and renting them out, like slowly but surely.
That was the plan for me when I bought my first house at the age of 23 years of age.
And then
I did not do that.
It is pretty sweet when they're old and retired or like in their 50s and they have like 7 different rental incomes coming in and the houses are paid off. It is like, man, that's a pretty steady flow of income now that'll never really go anywhere.
Also, housing's completely different now. Like at the time that I could purchase a home when I was that young, I had hit the sweet spot of having a decent job at a very young age that I'd been working on.
Yeah.
And the house, like I bought my house new for $90,000. You can't do that.
No,
not anymore.
Yeah.
No, this is dumb old man stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't do that now. But had I never done that early, I probably wouldn't be like I wouldn't have my house I have now because I kind of traded up, all the time. I'd like bounce up, kind of.
People are gun shy over after the housing recession. Like
It's
screwed a
different, man.
lot of people. I remember during that time, people were buying houses like crazy, and then like I buy a house, and then 2 weeks later, it's worth $100,000 more. Then I sell it, and then buy another. Like that was going on, which was obviously totally out of whack, and then obviously all the loans that they were given were bad and stuff. But people, because of foreclosures and all, and then people had to foreclose on like 3 of the houses, claim bankruptcy, and all this stuff that people get gun shy with buying property again. I remember. I
don't know if you can tell this, but I've had so much caffeine today that I want to spray puke in your face.
Wow.
I saw you.
I was just sitting there and I had a wave of caffeine go over me. I was like, am I going to spray puke?
So the side rental income is good. It's not the best though, because you still have to deal with
tenants.
The tenants,
Yeah.
which I assume,
And repairs. The tenants may be okay, especially if they're old teen girls.
people hire management companies, and then so you could you take that off your plate, where the management company deals with.
Yeah, but they charge a lot, dude.
They charge a percentage.
I know some guys that do that management gig, and they always talk about how easy it is, and they're just raping the people that do it.
Well, for the people that do it, they don't have to deal with nothing, and they don't want to do.
Yeah, but the price is too much. I think that I would be dumb old man on that, and I would be like, I can do it.
It's a percentage.
It's too much.
Although I know people that do it themselves, and I'm like, man, that seems like a pain in the ass. Like
I think Jimmy used to do it himself when he had rental properties. Jim Colbert.
Oh, I went to one of them, and he took a gun and put it in his butt ass.
Well,
I was like, well, how bad is this neighborhood? Also, aren't these your clients? Are you afraid of them? Are you afraid of the neighborhood? I don't want to wait in the car now.
You never know what
you took the gun out of the car, and you're taking it with you.
The only reason
I don't have a gun.
He's more paranoid than I am.
I know. I was like, well, you don't need this gun.
Wow. You guys are on this. You're cut from the same. I can feel that. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, a small town.
I carry a gun just in here.
Florida
well, I haven't been carrying it this week.
I feel safer in the hood than I do in Baldwin.
I have not been carrying my gun here because Butler hasn't been here this week.
Right,
if anybody's going to freak out, it's going to be him.
True.
And before you think it's some sort of concealed weapons permit, I don't have that. It's a sawed-off shotgun. I think it's legal.
You just put it under your seat.
A lot of electrical tape on it.
As long as you have the clip out and it's in a gun bag, 3 steps. That's all you do. That's what I remember listening.
Leonard Skinner did tell me, give me 3 steps.
I have an unconventional weapon. It's really just a fake cast with a shotgun in it. And I have to pretend my leg is broken to shoot people.
Oh, machine gun leg.
Yeah.
Like what was that movie?
Oh, the Quentin Tarantino.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, when they
Planet Terror. Is that it?
Yeah. I think you got it right.
Here's the best side gig.
Okay.
And the sweetest money is what is it? Not residual, but what's
passive income?
No, when you're an actor.
Royalties.
A royalty check in the mail. For
That's not really side gig though. That's already your gig. It's just in your contract.
Yes, but I count it as a side gig because you don't really know. Like it's part of you get it on a sitcom or whatever, and then you're like you get paid for that, and then it gets super popular.
But it's
and
only
it gets
good
syndicated in Brazil, and you get that money for every place that gets syndicated. You get a check in the mail every month.
But that's a hard one. I mean, wouldn't you need to be like if you're mailman number 2? On Hawaii 5-0.
They don't get paid that.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're not going to get much. You'd have to be like the main guy.
Not even the main. You could be a smaller character part. I mean, there's
Cameo. Cameo is the sweetest side gig.
Yeah,
but that you have to do work though.
Not really. It's nothing though. It
is nothing, but it's still. I'm saying check in the mail every month for nothing.
What about
That's pretty good.
Sponsorships on social media in general, i.e., Instagram sponsorships, TikTok sponsorships?
You still have to do some calories.
The only one I've seen, I don't see a lot of those. There's a band that I follow out of, I want to say Canada. There's like a heavier guy that has an amazing voice. He's a great singer, and then they look really, really young. And then I saw them they do what you like. They do their own ads. So you have to come to them. They don't go through Instagram. They don't go through TikTok or anything like that. They'll we'll make it on our own, then we'll put it on our TikTok. And that's how they do their ads. It's very interesting. They've got like 3 million followers or something like that. But it's interesting to see them want to do all the things that we already did with a whole older media form.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, though. It's all the same thing. It's like they're just like, why are you getting a cut of that TikTok? We'll do it ourselves and put it on there, and then we'll get all the money.
Yeah, and we make way more.
Exactly.
And develop the relationship with the advertiser, which is way more
valuable. It's old school, new school. It's a blend of both. It's old school, new school. Mm-hmm. It's the old school that our dads did. It's the business that they did with handshakes and promising things to people and never backing out on your word, right?
What's interesting about speaking of old school, new school, like this whole discussion.
Well, that's how your dad did business, right? I mean, if he's going to fix somebody's boat, it's a handshake. And he'd put his gun in his butt ass. I mean, my dad, too. That's how they did business. It was man-to-man relationship business. It wasn't...
How many times they get screwed over, though?
There were times.
I don't know.
There were times, yes.
That was back in the 80s, you didn't tell your wife when you made a mistake.
Right.
That's where we screwed it up. And that's where I screwed it up big time.
By the way, the story about my dad coming home with our safety deposit box in the back of the car with all the money that we had, he'd emptied the bank account.
Yeah.
That was one of the times where he was trying to lie to Mom. Like, she wasn't supposed to know it was in the trunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's right. Tom's exactly right. Real Florida men, they only buy gold for their old lady. And they don't tell her when things are going sideways with the family.
No, you don't. You never say any mistake you made.
No, you just go fix it.
I've made the horrible mistake of making an entire career of talking about all my mistakes and joking around about them and telling Crystal where she does not trust.
You have no way out.
She does not trust me to do anything. This boat bearing thing that I've been screaming about.
You're still working on it?
I'm still working on it.
Oh.
I'll bitch about it, but
Just
you know
call
what's here.
Neil. Can we just call Neil?
No, I got it. I
Captain
figured it
Neil.
out. I got it now. I know everything about bearings.
Captain Neil,
you
he'll
want,
come
you want your
over-
bearings fixed? I'll do it.
He'll come
I
over
know
in
everything.
his Speedo and his lime green Crocs, and he'll have that thing.
Pull your trailer up. I'll change your bearings right now. I just need
How much you charge, bro?
the race
I
tool.
want
That's your
wonder.
side gig now.
Oh, you bought the race tool?
Well, based on the time it takes me, $8,000.
Oh my God.
So
Buy a new trailer.
it takes me a minute. Anyway,
God.
she does not trust that what I'm doing is right, and she fully, I see it in her eyes, she fully believes that the wheels will fall off this boat and our family will die.
I mean, I can't disagree with her.
You know, hot and terrifying. That's all I'm going to say.
To try and make you feel
She
better.
100% expects to die.
Wow.
At your hand.
Because
At your
of,
hand.
Yeah, because of what I've done. Yes.
Inadvertently.
Yeah, by actually,
yes.
you don't think I mean to do it,
No,
but she
no.
thinks I've
That's
done
at least
something.
15 years down the road is when you guys get into the fight,
Yeah.
and you hit your head or she hits her head on the curb.
She
as
believes
you guys are walking away from Buffalo Wild Wings.
She has no trust that what I've done is
Yeah.
right.
Whoa,
That's
has
it.
there ever been a time when there was trust being built?
Well, I've done some things where I just don't talk about the good
You
things.
need to,
I'm
rub,
not.
you
You
need
know
to
about
rub her
'em.
face in the good things.
Yeah, you got to remind her about
You
the
got to
good
remind
stuff.
her of the good stuff. I do that with Andrea every morning when we wake up. I look at her
can't
and I
even think
go,
of anything.
I used to be attractive. I'm mildly successful. Still sort of funny. Gave you a daughter, huh? Got to remind her of the good things.
I've degraded a lot of those. Yeah. I'm trying
Has
to think
the
of
kid
what I could
thing
even
burned
ask.
out for us yet? The fact that we did give our wives, we sired, just
Some
top
kids.
tier
I feel like
babies. We make top tier babies.
But my wife doesn't give me that much credit for that because she's like,
You got to
just-
show her the science.
Yeah, but she's like, you just provided the seed, which
Yeah.
you waste millions of every day. So it's nothing to you. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
Or it's
if
everything to
Elon
me and I'm
Musk gives
spreading
me-
it everywhere.
if Elon Musk gives me $5, I don't care. You know,
Right.
I'll be mad that he only gave me
Well,
$5.
have him
Yes.
sign it. Have him sign it. Then it's worth more than 5. You got to start looking on the positive side, buddy.
I'm signing Wario.
I still watch that, dude. Elon Musk Wario for life is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
So
You want to jump into a voicemail? I mean,
Yeah.
I threw one in there and threw you for a loop. I apologize. I'll throw one
You
else
guys
in
did
there.
see that OnlyFans backed down, right?
No,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. A week later, they said, "Hey, my bad, guys. We're gonna let you guys keep banging on the internets on our platform."
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's a victory.
Well,
That-
maybe, but a lot of the creators got mad, so they're all like, "Screw you, we're leaving and going somewhere else."
Well,
anyway.
they probably
No.
try to find other businesses.
Oh, for sure.
And
They already
then-
have.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's fine, but if you're a creator and you're gonna die on that hill, just make sure you don't die on it before you know that all your OnlyFans people have disconnected their Only. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sure they're giving them a heads up because they weren't going to change until October
Right,
anyway.
but so most people probably haven't abandoned ship. So I mean, it'd be kind of stupid to
Yeah,
say,
you
take
just-
one of these with you.
I mean,
well, you still got-
thousands of people did last week when they announced.
That's true.
it.
But you still got
Oh,
your
man.
subscribers on OnlyFans,
Right.
which is hard to get them to re-sign up for a different
correct.
thing.
That's my point.
But it's bizarre that they even made the statement because they knew they were going to get backlash. Like they have a lot of customers that use it and make their money through that that way. So it's weird that they caved from the backlash they must have anticipated.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question because this seems to come up a lot, and I'm dead serious when I ask this.
Yeah.
I believe that OnlyFans never intended to pull the switch on pornographic material unless when they said we were doing it, the world said, yeah, it's okay. They weighed the backlash just like it's the same thing as the Sonic. Remember Sonic?
You think it's a marketing
But it's
stunt?
almost like hive mentality. It's like we'll put it out there, see what everybody thinks, but we won't fully commit to it.
What's weird
The
though,
only you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
way that they lose in this scenario, I mean, yeah, they might lose some people that say like, oh, knee-jerk reaction, we're out of here. Okay, that's fine. There's plenty of people that want to take that space. They'll be just fine. It's like Sonic. You put it out there, you test the waters, you get the backlash. This is what we got to change. Oh, these content creators are really pissed off at us. This isn't going to bode well for our money.
What's weird,
That's
though,
what it seems like they did,
is
right?
Of course, like you.
Well, it was all about the banks.
That's there's a couple things. First is like, of course, like you're gonna get everybody who makes their money mad that you're now gonna stop that money flow, because essentially you're saying no more pornographic material. If that's all you did, then for sure they're not gonna change their material.
No,
that's all they got. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
that's what they provide.
Like
That's
the
the
thing
service
that
they provide.
The thing that I thought, like most beautiful women on there and men that were like if you were just like a single provider, let's say, where you're just doing not pornography but just nudes, and you happen to be very attractive, you would be fine. The thing that I knew
like
people
a Tracy.
the people that I knew people were going to be pissed off were the I call them douche couples, and there's a lot of them where the guy is like an MMA douche bro and the girl is like a hot MMA douchette, and then they bang on OnlyFans. There's a lot of these. If you go on there, there's these couples. They're like porno couples where they're together and they're monogamous and it's their thing, but they're like they have douche sex all around the world, and then you subscribe to it. But if they take that, like Tom's saying, it's all they have. So if you take that away, a lot of monster energy being thrown at drywall.
My point is, like, to then retract it, it tells me they didn't assume that a bunch of people on their platform were going to be pissed that they were.
No, it seems like they got a different deal, either maybe having different backers as far as the banks, or they worked out a deal with the banks.
Okay.
It says Wednesday, the company said it secured
assurances
necessary to support our diverse creator community, suggesting that it has new agreements with banks to pay OnlyFans content creators, including those who share sexually explicit material. An OnlyFans spokesperson declined to say which bank or banks it has new or renewed payment processing agreements with.
It's TD Bank.
Maybe this is the old school. Okay, follow me this.
Give it to me.
So it's the old school, like you use the announcement and the publicity of the announcement
to put some weight on them?
Or no, to get or find other businesses willing to do business with you. So like, for instance,
this is called I Need a Fog Machine for my son's Halloween.
So it's like, basically it's talking about it through the media to see if you can get any other. So
because it kind of did throw their hands of like, hey,
we can't do this.
Not really our choice. These banks are not allowing us to pay the creators.
That's exactly what
out.
they did. Yeah.
So it's essentially like, imagine if iHeart told us, like, well, you can't do we're not going to.
You can't do your podcast while you're on this radio show.
Yeah, something. We did that already. But I'm saying,
news story.
What if they started telling us, like, you can't do something if you're broadcasting on the air, and we all want to do it and our listeners want it, right? So then we don't have, like, there's no other radio station that will talk to us or whatever. So this, like, we put it out there like, hey, we can't do Bird Wednesday anymore because
October 1st.
Now you guys know why Bird Wednesday went away.
Starting October 1st, unless we find a different way to broadcast Bird Wednesday is officially done on October 1st.
And all listeners and everybody's mad about it. And but then some other radio station hears it because the publicity and like, wait, we'll let you do Bird Wednesday.
Yeah. Then the wolf's like, we need Bird Wednesday.
I think that's exactly what happened.
That's what happened.
We figured it out.
We should go into business together.
All right.
Yeah. OnlyFans. You guys should get an OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what that means.
No, it's called Only Scams.
Only Sam's. I don't want to see you on there.
Scams. With a C.
I'll be in the background.
In a bear suit. Back to the beginning. Cyclical.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and I just got to say something. I'm wearing a new villain hat.
Yep.
Right now, and the whole hat is made of trucker mesh.
Yeah, the whole thing is mesh.
It's the coolest hat. I mean, literally the coolest hat I have ever worn.
That's what I need.
Dude, this is for working on your boat.
Get rid of your nerdo.
Get rid of your nerdo. This thing, like it. When I ride the scooter, and this is what he designed it for, Mark. When you ride your scooter, you don't have to do anything. The air passes right through the hat, doesn't blow your hat off. It's for boats and scooters and motorcycles and stuff like that. Anyway, it's on their website. It's the villain, like a captain's hat.
Because regular hats make my head hot.
They get hot. They're
traps the heat in.
They're like foam, and this it's all mesh, and you can't really tell. It's like a nice ass hat.
Oh, don't match my mask.
There you go. Yeah, you should match it out.
What I mean, the mesh part.
Yeah. Well, you got the screen, the novelty screen mask. Yeah.
So the Nirvana baby.
Yeah, so the baby
him.
that was on Nirvana's Nevermind album, the little baby in the pool that's naked, he is suing Nirvana. His name is Spencer Eldon. He's suing the band for child sexual exploitation, saying that he was unable to consent to having his image used for the 1991 album. He's not wrong. He was not able to give consent.
Well, who did?
I'm assuming
The
parents, right?
Yeah, well, you got to take it up with him. And you've been interviewed multiple times. You've used the fame. You've been interviewed multiple times.
I don't like that argument because there's been plenty of people that have been victims of things that have changed their mind once they got older
Daniel's
and
not
got
a
therapy.
Well,
and
now
not a
things.
victim.
But now
though.
suddenly he's a victim, but all the other times
He should
was,
take it up with his parents, though.
Well, what I'm saying is that all the other times that he was interviewed for magazines, I've read articles with him. All those other times, so still the victim, just he wasn't, he didn't
does
realize.
say Eldon, now 30, says that his parents never did sign a release authorizing the use of his image on the album. So they might...
Well, Tracy's
have
right.
a case here.
Tracy's right. He has recreated this picture 5 different times. It's not traumatic
his
if you're
ding-dong
out
out?
there recreating it. Not necessarily with his ding dong out. But my point is, if this is truly traumatic for you, and
just
it's
trying to
not
get
just a
money.
money grab,
Yeah.
then this is not the way to go about it.
Well,
This-
then it's been, it should be or have been a problem. It's hard to flip flop back and forth and then make the case that it's been traumatic if you liked it before and
Right.
you liked the fact that it was you, and then now you're like, no, it's traumatic. And
Right.
Also, just with any lawsuit, you gotta prove some sort of damages.
Right.
And
He's alleging that the nude image constitutes child pornography. And then, quote, the images exposed Spencer's intimate body part and lasciviously displayed Spencer's genitals from the time that he was an infant to the present day, legal papers filed in California claim. Now, non-sexualized photos of infants are generally not considered child pornography under U.S. law, but Eldon's lawyer says that the inclusion of the dollar bill, which was superimposed after the photograph was taken, makes the minor seem, quote, like a sex worker.
Oh, come on. This is a stretch if I ever heard one that ridiculous. And I don't think anybody feels bad for this guy or says like, this is...
I don't.
They dangled the dollar, so it's like a sex worker and your baby swimming, and then it's
I
like,
don't.
what a bad... Especially when you liked being the baby before because it gave you the fame... and then now you're like,
look,
this
I
is
can't speak for
child
the
pornography.
guy. I can't speak for the guy. All you can say is what you saw, right? What we viewed and what we read. So I won't speak for his feelings or how he felt from the time that photo was taken, put on the cover until now. But there were times when I read articles and saw pictures.
There's a quote right here that says it's always been a positive thing and opened doors for me, and that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's just like I don't think that if you're really leaning on that, like
he's to make this a whole thing, he's not really asking for that much. He's asking for damages of $150,000 from each of the 15 defendants, which include surviving band members, the managers of Kurt Cobain's
Well,
estate.
that's a lot of money. That's like $2 million.
But I would have expected, if it's going to be a money grab, I would have thought he would ask for more, to be honest.
Well,
Well,
maybe
$2 million.
Maybe he thinks he can actually get away with it, so you
Right,
go
maybe
low.
that's what it is. Go low because you think you can get
or
it.
they may just pay it off.
Yeah, just to not have the headache. Oh,
Also,
man,
the lawyer's probably doing it for free. If they win, they'll get a portion, or they'll just hope for a settlement.
I would feel weird spending $15,000 of Dave Grohl's money given to me because of my baby penis. That's a weird.
It helps.
That's a weird tale to tell everybody at Thanksgiving.
It helps if you're there's money to be had because it's like people sue Walmart for a reason. It's like they got a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the most likely they'll just throw it at you to go away, and that's probably what.
That's probably what he's hoping for, right?
Yeah. And
Although
I think that's why the number's low, Sam.
On the opposite side of that, I always did think it was odd that they
Had a naked baby on their cover?
No, that they actually had the penis, as opposed to they could have, and I'm sure there's photographs.
Well, babies have penises, Tom. Boy babies do.
No, but I'm saying in the photograph, you can make the baby imply that it's naked and hide the penis in a way that the shot is taken.
Absolutely not. Any baby that I look at in a photograph, if I cannot see its penis actively visible, I think that the baby has been mutilated.
Like, for instance, like when the kids were younger, not anymore, but like, and it's like that picture of Max, baby butt. Like, it's been an icon.
It's off-putting.
In like, and marketing and other, and just in our culture, it is acceptable to show a baby's butt.
Well, Coppertone, I think, played a pretty big role in this.
Probably in our
they
culture.
They don't use that imagery now anymore, though, do they?
No, because little girls with no tops on with their bikinis being pulled off by dogs are what pedophiles thirst for.
Right.
You know, you just don't need to put that out there.
So, anyway, you could get away with baby butt. Now
we have a Tom and Did Coppertone sticker and shirt. I forgot about that Pabone did.
I wouldn't post a picture when Max and Tommy were babies of their
genitalia.
Front. Yeah. I would, because they would be like, that's too far, right? Even if it's like you don't really care because you're like, whatever, it's nature, it's a baby.
It is. I mean,
it's just
this Pitchfork article. There's also another BBC one that I'm kind of reading back and forth, but it is kind of weird the way that they are saying that they like got the photo. I guess it was just like a friend of the family was like invited. They invited them to this photo shoot, and it was like a pool party. And they didn't realize it until the album came out that it was going to be like an album artwork of their child nude. That's kind of weird, right?
It's weird that they didn't get permission.
Yeah, they didn't sign any release forms, apparently.
They were a smaller band.
I never get permission before I take pictures of people's kids. I'm kidding.
You take a lot more chances when you're a small band before you're rich because you got nothing to lose.
It was art at that point, right? It's art. They're putting it together. They're artsy guys, pool party. They get together. I mean, that band, its second album after what? Sliver was their first album, or Bleach, right? The Black Album.
I'm not a Nirvana fan.
That was the first album was Bleach, and then the second album, like they were gaining popularity. They weren't entirely not known.
But that album is what catapulted them.
Nevermind is what broke them wide open. And no, I could totally see that happening. You see a lot of it used to be when albums are released, some of the folklore behind the album cover was part of the experience, right?
Yeah. I mean, suing because you didn't get permission to use your likeness is one thing, but the weird convoluted child pornography thing, that's where I think you lose a lot of people. You're like, come on. But if it's like you're suing because like your parents never signed off on using your likeness, there you got a case now, because it's like, all right, well, they used your likeness on an album that sold, platinum. How many different times platinum?
Here's two comments that are actually kind of cool. Brock says, here's the thing. Nobody on the blanking planet would know it was him if he didn't talk about it all the time. On the flip side of that...
he did say it opened doors for him. Yeah.
On the flip side of that, BDM ex-con says, sometimes when people are victims of trauma as a baby or child, it is common for them to recreate the trauma. It's a cycle, and this guy needs to be watched around children if he is traumatized and has been running around recreating it.
No, come on. That
seems like a
he was a baby at a pool party. They took a picture of him. Like, baby,
and it blew up.
Tommy still swims in the pool nude. That's not trauma. Like, and then the... you had no recollection of it because you were too young.
Well, it's just his opinion.
People that have been traumatized as children does not necessarily mean they're going to do that to children. So let's not put that out there. But it happens.
I don't know.
But it also doesn't happen.
He never. I mean, I don't even know this person, and we don't know if he's ever been traumatized. But the nude photo of him on Nirvana's Nevermind album is not trauma.
Yeah. No,
as a child, you weren't traumatized by that.
Yeah, the thing is weird. Has anybody else put out, I'm sure none of the band members or anybody has even said anything about it.
No one's commented yet.
No, well, they get sued 100 times a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have a multi-millions of dollars or have a multi-million-dollar company, you just get sued all the time. Yeah. So you lose track of it. That's why you hire
doesn't Courtney Love sue them every other year?
Oh, yeah. That happened earlier this year. And then she backed off and then, did it again. And then...
I mean, you may get an email about the current lawsuits going on, but I imagine that it all just turns to static after a while, right? It doesn't even move your meter when you're getting sued. So I'm sure there's just one of a dozen lawsuits that are pending currently, right?
Yeah.
Especially like Dave Grohl, you can sue all the time.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure there's tons of past employees suing him. I mean, just sue crazy.
Yeah. No, I got you. You want to do some voicemails?
Yeah.
I did a huge batch of fresh ones this morning. Let's try this one.
Hey there, Tom and Dan, BDM Eric here. I sitting in my car in the rain, waiting to go into the Publix here, hoping it'll stop raining for a minute. But that got me thinking of a story. I wondered if you guys have ever been in a situation where you've tried to do something really nice and the outcome was so bad that you should have never gotten involved because you made it even worse. I was at a Publix, and there was an old couple there, and just storming, raining, pouring down, and they're standing at the door with their cart of groceries and waiting out the rain, and it's a storm that's going to go on forever. And I had an umbrella with me, so I went up to the old man, and they're old, they're 70s, not spry 70. And I asked the old man, hey, can I walk you to your car? You could drive up here and pick up your wife. I'll help you get the groceries in. Trying to be nice.
That's good.
So I start walking. He takes me up on it. I start walking the old man to the car, and a just monsoon gust of wind pulls the umbrella inside out. And the two of us just standing in the middle of the parking lot with torrential rain coming down, and we rush to his car and get him in there, but the umbrella is doing nothing, so he is just getting soaked. And I run back to help them get the groceries in the car, and I still to this day feel so bad for that couple. I just hope he didn't die of pneumonia like a week.
Oh my God.
But anyway, just curious if you had any similar stories.
It didn't go as bad as I thought. I thought the old man was gonna slip and fall or something. But if he just got a little wet.
Yeah. I mean, your intention was good, so he's not going to be that mad. But if you would have never done anything, those old people would have stood there in front of the
and been dry.
Publix and just waited for the rain.
30 minutes later, then they walk out.
Because they got nothing better else to do. Yeah. So they're fine with just standing there in silence, waiting the rain out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to help these people. And so you're right. He wouldn't have been soaked if you just left him alone.
Let's talk about umbrellas for a minute. Where do you guys stand? Do you use them? Do you carry them? Are they an implement in your daily life?
I think they kind of suck.
I never use umbrellas.
Because I end up always getting wet anyways. Because if you get in and out of your car, inevitably you're going to get wet or your car is going to get wet.
I think it's just because you're tall.
No,
I'm little.
Because I let my mom use my umbrella last week. And both her and my car got completely soaked.
I'm like a field mouse. Like, I don't even get damp. I literally can the umbrella. I get the big golf umbrella.
Yeah, umbrella users. Okay,
big. I get the big golf yellow and blue, and I don't get one drop on me. I'm good.
This is our problem, Sam. Because I'm like you. I don't use umbrellas.
Because you're too big. You're too large. Human.
I'd rather use a rain jacket.
No. It's all about practice. The umbrellas.
We call ourselves umbrellas.
Okay. The umbrellas have been using umbrellas their entire life, so they've got it down. My wife is like this.
I can pull it right through a tiny crack.
She uses the umbrella, walks to her car, opens the door, gets in her car, and then does a move where she's able to close it and pull it.
It's the hoo-ha.
And I'm like, how do you do that? Because
right in. Shut the door.
First, I just run on flip-flops and get soaked.
You're getting more wet running. Mythbusters.
But Crystal's given me an umbrella before and to walk to Home Depot, and I used it. But because I'm so awkward and I don't have practice, I get soaked and then scream, "What the hell are these things for?" Just like you, and then I'm anti-umbrella. But the umbrellas, they have practice. They know how to use it.
I'll take you one better.
I still have one in my car, but I barely ever use it.
I'm getting you guys something. Okay. How soon can I get them? Can I get them for the Friday Free Show? I'm getting you guys somebody mentioned that in the Twitch chat room. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We are live streaming on here almost every day. It's the reverse umbrella.
So when you close it, it closes it
Oh,
out.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah. I'm going to get you
also,
guys
Also, I need a big radius.
Oh, yeah.
But you
need a girthy umbrella.
You know what it's like? It's like a real man. Daniel does this too, carrying a knife around.
I don't have my knife on me today.
You can't be manly with an umbrella? Is
No.
You can.
I'm talking about the use of it because
I
don't carry a knife around because I think to myself, I'm like, how often do I need a knife? What the hell? Like, I'm like,
You've been working on your boat. You probably needed it every day. You walk to your garage, get a knife.
I got knives everywhere. My car, my backpack.
Well, your paradise.
But if you
use it all the time though. But you got to cut something
in your bra, in your panties, in your shoes.
But that's the thing.
My panty knife.
the people that use
good
knives
band.
all the time. You ever seen a real man like sharpen a pencil with a knife?
Oh, yeah. My dad used to do that.
His
He never
skill-
used a pencil sharpener. He just whittled it.
His skill is better with a knife from practice. Therefore, of course, they carry around a knife. They're good using it. Same thing with an umbrella. If you don't use it or carry it around, you have no practice. Like I'm fumbling around with my knife. I'm like, I'm going to stab myself with this. You know, I'm like, what the hell? I'm just pulling zip ties apart with my fingers. You know, I'm like,
why?
Because I'm not good with a knife because I have no practice.
You just need a little one, like a little pocket knife.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
I gave you a pocket knife years ago. I gave you a Benchmade.
But the problem is that I have to
think
carry
your
it to get practice.
Yeah, I think your problem is you just forget everything.
No, that's
forget
true,
umbrellas, forget knives. You're not going to remember anything.
But also, I don't have practice with it, so I'm not good at it, and therefore...
How good do you have to be with a pocket knife?
People get good at using pocket knives. Daniel's better at using a pocket knife.
I'm pretty good.
Which is...
How do you badly use a pocket
Well,
knife?
because I'm like,
you're
he's talking about
you're
daily
fumbling,
use.
yeah.
Okay, he is correct in this, and I know it sounds crazy, but I'll walk you through it. Every day when I don't have it on me today, which is weird, you would mention that, but every day I get up, take it, put it in my pocket. I open it every single day. Just by doing that every single day, I am better by
Daniel.
My question is, how do you badly use a pocket knife? That's the question.
It's not good. I'm just saying you're more familiar and you're using it.
Like I'll even think to do it.
So you just forget the pocket knife. That's it. It's not that you're bad. You don't use it badly.
He would still pull the zip ties even if the pocket knife's in his pocket.
Right, because he forgets about it.
Correct.
Not because he doesn't know how to use it and doesn't have practice using
He's still
it.
not as good as I'm going to be because I carry it daily.
Every real man that's ever handed me their own pocket knife, including Daniel, will pull it out
and then hand it a certain way.
And then open it simultaneously with one hand and then hand it to you handle first.
Right.
In one smooth motion, telling me that they've done that 500 times. And I pull it out. I'm like, and I use two hands. I open it up. I'm goofy and slow with it.
Should we get a Tom and Dan pocket knife?
Dude, I made that BDM Jade knife.
Expensive.
And I made this BDM.
We got to go Bobo knives.
I am this close to giving that away as a BDM gift, dude. For BDM week, what would you say about me giving away? It's a $500 knife. I would give away. Because I just want to do something special for BDM Recruit Week. I just think it'd be awesome.
You don't have to give your personal.
I can order another one.
It's
company money. I don't give a damn.
I like that. The thing with ordering
got a jade handle.
Cheap pocket knives is anybody who carries a pocket knife wants a good quality pocket knife.
Yeah, I'm addicted to knives, dude.
I remember I have my dad and my pop-pop's pocket knives.
You have your dad's?
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
And they had it on them. Well, he did when he died.
I have Andrea's brother John that he had.
But
I have his.
It's the 80s, and I don't know if everybody's going to understand or be familiar with this, but there is a brown on both sides tip with a brass color body, and it's a fold-out pocket knife, but it's brown on both sides, like a little triangle of brown with brass. And I don't know, they both have the same thing. I don't know if that's a popular knife that the Florida real men have, but they both had it, and it must be some brand.
It's cool that you have it.
Again, things aren't sentimental to me, so
I
don't
beg
even
of
know
you
they
to
are.
never carry it.
I don't even know.
You'll lose it.
I may have lost them.
Oh, God.
I don't even know where they are.
Don't say that.
I'm serious.
Oh,
I'm not sentimental. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. But it's the people that are sentimental, when I hear things like that, it hurts my heart.
Yeah. Sorry.
I wish I had my dad's pocket knife.
Sorry.
I think they put him in
the
oven with us.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
If you want to listen to us broadcast live, you could do it through Twitch.
Hey, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I always forget that we are live on Twitch every single day.
Yeah.
And as things kind of continue, you get some people that are like, oh, this is where all of broadcasting is going. Streams. Everything is streams.
Yeah.
It's probably true. But you get some purists that, hey, I just want the audio. Well, you're in luck. We're on Apple Podcasts. Twitch has an audio-only version that you can use there. You can download us anywhere you get podcasts. But every single day, we are live on this amazing website called Twitch, twitch.tv. And you just search Tom and Dan Live. You'll find our channel. If you are a Prime member, you can subscribe and give us a little bit of your money, and it costs you Nothing.
Old Bezos gives us the money. So
Old
you want to stick it to
D-Rocket,
Bezos? Oh yeah.
Old D&B. What the D&B
Also on
rocket, right? It looked like a D&B.
On the Twitch broadcast, it's different than the podcast. I don't like. I'm explaining this because we never talk about it, but the Twitch broadcast you'll get to hear during the breaks when we're not recording.
Yeah.
Like the podcast is put together in like show form.
Sure.
So there's an intro edited onto it and all that. So the Twitch feed you could actually listen to everything that happens because sometimes we talk.
You can hear us do things like save files, get water, go pee-pee.
I guess
check their phone.
When you break
Samantha yell at Tom. Tom yell at Daniel. Daniel make it weird. Tom get Advil. Dan get aspirin and more.
Mostly it's just me looking down at my phone in silence. So if
It's,
you want to,
here I'll do an impression. And it's good. All right, what segment was that, Sam?
Then you flip out about the segment.
Well, lately it hasn't been a flip out. Lately it's been a guys. I don't know, like where I think I'm gonna die.
That's a flip out too.
Well, it's not gonna be on you guys though. It's just gonna be me collapsing in the chair, and that's it. You just push me aside.
What happens when that happens? Because it's like
I'm gonna leave.
It hurts. When I just die?
Because
I want Sam to put me on her shoulder like a sack of rice and run for her car, throw me in the back, and just
call
drive.
Andrea and be like, "Well, it finally happened."
No, you just drive past the house and just roll me out.
Is it
just like you would if I was a gang member and you needed to throw me at the hospital?
Is it anger at your own brain for not remembering what and then
you must do it too,
and then you can't get past the fact that why isn't this saved?
Yes.
Like I just you've
done it then, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
So I asked Sam, what segment did we record? She tells me, I file it. I go back right now, gone. It's gone. Where'd I put it? Don't know.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Nobody knows.
Yeah, then you're like mad, and then you're like, what is happening?
Yes, and then I'm like, well, you obviously have brain cancer. Because the hypochondria in there swirl, but then I'm like, you don't have brain cancer. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like, you got
dementia,
some cancer.
though. Sweet old dementia.
Oh, man.
It happens slow. And then it's like that. Where did I put my shoes?
Now, I will say that there is that feeling of not remembering when I'm sitting there. If I lean into it and I just become sort of non-remembering brain dead, it's nice in there. It's nice. It's just
like I don't know nothing.
No, you're doing it.
I think
it does feel good.
People feel bad for people that have bad dementia, but I'm just like,
we're all slowly getting it.
Yeah,
I want
or is it sweet relief? Because then you don't.
Well,
know
I'm
nothing.
like the actual people aren't. I mean, you say they're suffering, but they
it's
don't.
The people around them, right? Yeah.
Those people don't know what's going on. They don't know who
they're
they
having
are,
a lovely life.
who they love.
Well, they get to
sounds sad, but it's sweet.
Do you mean to tell me that I can go to a place where everybody's going to take care of me, and my brain will start selectively deleting politics, fighting,
everybody, family,
racial issues, inequality, social, and then all.
But you remember the ingrained stuff from a long time ago.
But I want the bad stuff. Like I wouldn't be paying attention to the news. I wouldn't be presidential thing rolling around. No, I wouldn't be into any of that because I'm people taking care of Danny. Come over here, Danny.
No, they're
come over here, Danny.
They're still into it. It just they forget what happened. Like
Roosevelt is like that
2 minutes ago. Yeah. It's like you forget what your grandson looks like. You remember where you were when he was born. See if that makes sense. Like you remember things from a long time ago.
What is
but
this one?
Like you forget things. It's the short-term memory. I'm sure it's the same thing that gets messed up with marijuana. Why you have bad short-term memory of marijuana because that's a thing.
What is this one where you get to a point where you're so old that you do a lot of this? I mean, it's a physical gag, but like you're like. How do you what happens to make your neck?
Oh, the rolling
old man neck.
Yeah,
that's nerves, right?
I don't. It's like he. I think that's involuntary. It's kind of like
you can't stop it.
Yeah, it's like Michael J. Fox with his
that's Parkinson's.
Yeah, but there's a version of that. I'm saying like other things that cause an involuntary
a neurological issue,
a continual movement or whatever. I think that's what it is. I mean, it's just like,
or do you get the jelly neck like babies do?
There's just like you just have to constantly
can't
move
hold your own neck.
That's like doing the stanky leg, right?
I feel like it's getting very disrespectful.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah, we're just telling you the truth. Do you know the Latin word for parking lot?
I do not.
Is this a racist joke?
Oh my
No,
God.
it's not.
Okay, all right.
No, of course it's not.
Okay, where do you
It's
put the
just-
paycheck?
No.
All right.
My God. Let's do voicemails.
Oh.
Jumping to voice. Let's do emails too.
Okay.
Let's do them both. Let's not discriminate. Let's do voicemails, emails, and let's start with an email while I pull up the voicemail.
All right. Good afternoon. I really enjoy the music you play during the break. It is another great reason to watch and listen on Twitch. Do you keep a playlist of all of your tracks? I looked through Spotify, but only found one dating back to 2015 by Joseph John.
Yeah, there's a guy that used to do it for me.
Yeah, the playlist. There's a Spotify playlist.
But it hasn't been updated since 2015. There used to be a guy that did it all the time.
Yeah,
and then
we didn't give him enough credit and thank him for doing it. So he just like a lot of people who help us.
You're
like,
lucky that I stuck around, buddy.
No, you're right.
And I'm thinking about leaving.
I
know.
Yeah, I know. There's people hiring out there, Sam.
Yeah, there's jobs.
I've been
I don't know
looking.
if you
There's
know
a
that.
million jobs
If
everywhere.
I were
What do you want to do?
If I were you, I'd get
I
on
don't know.
monster.com right now.
you don't even need to just go any.
Just yell out the window.
Just pick a business if they are hiring.
If you walk outside right now and just go, hello, they'll be like, you need a job?
But the problem, the worst ones are hiring the most.
That's what I'm, yeah, that's the
The
problem.
real good ones, they're kind of hiring. You know.
So no playlist.
No, well, okay, here's the deal with the playlist. The dude made the playlist, and then he wrote to me one day and said, like, hey, I can't do this anymore. There's too much going on. I put it on my list of things to do. You and I have a list of things to do that's never ending. And then I had to choose. You know, I used to do a thing at the end of every Friday Free Show where I would give you footnotes and say, hey, here are the bands that I'm listening to this week, or here are the songs that are included in the show. I don't do that anymore. And it's twofold. Number one, copywritten music, even though we are allowed and we have been licensed to play certain things through publishers and through
we get permission through the label.
We do. We work with labels. Not all podcast aggregators know that, so sometimes that can be sticky. And I do the video components now for Twitch and for YouTube, so it's just hard for me to produce everything here. But it is something that we could do. Like Sam and I could, it would be as simple as me on Friday mornings of writing down the songs and just including it on the sheet, and then we just go to Spotify and just add it to a playlist. I mean, we can do it.
It's also the worst possible scenario, and I'll explain, in the fact that the people that did enjoy listening to it, because I'm talking about you would do a separate show on Saturdays.
Yeah.
When you were doing that, the people that enjoyed that really, really enjoyed it, but the majority of people cared less. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the people that enjoyed you doing it cared so much where it sucks for those people because it's like it's time consuming, hard to do, and for all those reasons, you're just like, I can't do it. But the people that really liked it a lot.
Like I got 2 very strongly worded letters when I stopped doing them, but they were long letters. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause they were really
They're
into it.
passionate about it.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel's doing that for the sake of entertainment because
Also,
he likes music.
You could do it on your own, listener. I mean, you could always make a list and add it. Make a playlist on your Spotify, and then when Dan says whatever the song and the name is, just go ahead and throw it in there.
Yeah. I mean
I
Daniel
do that on other shows.
He
I do that on other shows. I'm serious.
and he gathers this music and vets it personally because he's a musicman, and then plays it for the Friday Free Show for everybody to listen to because he finds new bands that he likes, and he plays. So he's doing the majority of the work. Like, put it on a list and mail it to me. Like, do it yourself.
Yeah, I love doing it, but we only have so much time, and I don't want to work on the weekends. And okay, another hot topic. I normally don't get the hot topics. I'm pretty basic, I think, when it comes to things. And but one that really has been lighting a fire lately is me being a natural born chirper. Which is the movie I would be in.
It's real dark.
Yeah, it's real dark.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, Trav, Seth, I don't know who the hell was there. I'm listening to Kimbo Slice, and at the end of it, Dan and the gang, everyone's talking about Dan's chirping at the people who work at Publix, his, desire to make small talk.
Before this guy continues, Can we all agree that based on his voice, you want to party with this guy?
100%.
100%.
I was just thinking, like, I hope my voice doesn't turn into that because it's hard to listen
I
to.
love it.
Party guy voice.
This guy, I just want to cruise in a convertible Mustang with this guy and smoke cheap cigarettes.
Like, your voice sounds like screeching tires.
I
like,
love
it's
it. I
love it.
Harsh.
I don't know. Sam and I like it. You dislike it. We'll continue.
He screamed a million screams.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to sound like that soon.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of. But like, no one's gonna be able to listen to me. Like, I can't. Like, I used to like the show, but Tom's voice is hard to
Between
listen
that
to.
and the laugh.
With all these people, I worked, Publix was my very first job. I worked there for almost 5 years, like high school into college. And then I embarked on an incredibly long stretch of similar customer service adjacent jobs. And I love the small talk. I'm a big fan. It is literally the only thing that makes my day go by in a quick manner. And it allows me to have fun with both my other coworkers and the people who are working there. Is the chit chat. Chat it up. Let's fucking talk. Otherwise, we're just like standing there being a bunch of grumpy fucking assholes. And I don't want to be like that. I want to have fun. I want to talk to people. Bye. Love the show. Bye.
Love you too, party animal. You are my new favorite caller.
The reason why his voice is like that
because he likes to chirp.
Talking too goddamn much.
Too goddamn much. You're right. He chirped his voice out because
was he saying? Did I mishear that? Was he saying that amongst his coworkers?
Yeah, they have fun.
That's different. I'm talking about with like customers.
Yeah.
Of course, you chit chat with the people you work with.
Yeah, but this guy sounds like a chirper, just like Daniel. And if Daniel,
I'm not a chirper. I'm a micro chirp.
If Daniel worked at Publix, he'd be chirping at the customers. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like
slowest line in the history of lines.
Yeah. So then
come through my line. Let me talk to you about Taco Tuesday. Come to my line. Let me ask you what you're making tonight. Come to my line and allow me to walk you through a better way to make banana bread.
What happens when you encounter another chirper?
69. Audio 69. We start audio 69.
You can't pull them away from each
other.
You just start
chirping.
I fall in love. Yeah. How long does someone's got to pull you away because you just want to chirp at them?
Well, Sam sometimes has to do this in public.
Well, I'm also mad at you because you made it very awkward for my last Publix transaction.
Today?
The girl it was yesterday after work. I swung by Publix for a couple things.
Was it the same lady?
It was the same lady that you asked about, and I didn't say anything to her, and she looked mad.
Yeah, because she knows you're not a chirper. She knows you're a mean old bitch.
Yep. And now, instead of it just being a normal transaction where I just checked myself out and moved on my way, she looked at me like I was a mean old bitch.
She has a cupcake tattoo. She's cool. She's a cool dude.
Yeah, because when you encounter a chirper and then a mean old bitch.
I'm sorry. I should have never. You know what? I apologize to you for doing that experiment with you along for the ride.
That's right. You got to do that on your own.
You're right. That was unfair.
Now I'm compromised.
You are.
Now I have to force myself to chirp so I don't look like a mean old bitch.
Yeah, because the chirper talks. This has happened with me and Daniel so many times where Daniel's in front of me.
He puts you in an awkward space,
and
right?
He's chirping it up, chirping. He's telling jokes. He's like doing this whole thing.
And now you got to chirp by proxy or you're an idiot.
Yeah. Then the lady goes to me and then she's like, well, what are you going to do for me?
You're making me laugh, you piece of ass.
God.
Look, I just wanted
to get my chips and go.
I'm trying to get more listeners from the cool kids over here because the only people listening are in their 50s. I'm trying to get the young black teens over here listening to it.
They're not listening.
They're looking at TikTok, which, by the way, my son's...
Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah, my son's...
That's good for the radio listener.
Yeah, throw some of that in there every once in a while for the visual listeners.
They discovered animal TikTok, and it's their favorite thing in the world. They'll sit there, and now it's surpassed even watching YouTube video games because it comes in a faster and more comical small 15 seconds.
Fall down.
Yeah.
Bark. Chicken clucking.
Or it's animal jump. Animal makes weird sound. Animal wears hat.
Monkey cartwheel.
Yeah.
Here comes
Animal.
the boy.
And
you come across those?
Oh yeah. And then there's one where
I'm fast as F, boy. I'm fast as F.
Yeah. And then it's the cat.
Maisie actually saw that one and she knows that word and she giggled, laughed, and I'm like, oh man, I'm doing a bad job.
Mm-hmm.
Or they show the cat swatting at something fast and they put kung fu noises. You know,
they're falling for it. But they got that from their mom.
Do you want to fight me?
Yeah.
Do you want to catch these hands?
That's good. They got it from their mom because their mom is a mean mom. And they got it from Crystal.
Yeah.
This isn't your
fault,
fault,
is she
buddy.
a mean old bitch?
No, she
Yes.
Oh, you crazy?
She's the meanest.
Does your wife
I thought you were born in to her.
No, she doesn't chirp. She's just like you. Bitch. Just doesn't. I think I have, because I'll do awkward small talk where you get me going and then I'll just start.
But they don't even want to hear it.
No, yeah.
They don't want to hear the chirps.
I'm doing some weird hybrid.
And Crystal both don't want to ever hear you talk.
No, I know. Nobody does. My sons.
Yeah.
I started explaining.
Your best friends.
I started explaining to them how the moon was formed from Earth, and then Max would be boring. He's bullying me, and they wait for me to get going, and then Max says boring.
I love
and
Max. Max is my favorite.
He got the bullying for me. I am proud of him though, because I'm like, oh, that's good. That's bullying me.
You have to look sad and walk away, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll. Should I continue the chirping ones? Because there's a bunch.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll chirp them out.
Hey guys, chirpers are the same as choppers. Discuss it among yourselves.
We kind of addressed that a little bit.
It's not quite the same.
It's a form of chopping.
It is a form.
But listen, I analyze this a lot. It's all I think about. So,
oh man,
a chopper.
Oh, now he's dying.
Well, no, I was just sitting there thinking about it. It's like, that's what you're thinking about?
I know.
That's what you're thinking about?
No wonder we can't get anything done around here.
Butler will chop different people.
Butler's
Walking
both.
Bad.
That's the thing. Butler is both. He's a chirper and a chopper.
But but just like I said on the Friday Free Show, chirp choppers will chirp at you, and then when the person starts discussing the back to you or talking back to you, they're uninterested because all they wanted to do is put it out their chirp. See, Daniel's willing to put out the chirp and receive a chirp back.
I love to receive a good chirp.
Chirp choppers just chirp out what they don't care about.
Selfish chopping. Chirping. Selfish chirping. I used to work with a person that was a selfish chirper who she would walk up to me and she'd like tell me some chirp and then I'd go, oh, that's interesting. And then they'd be like, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And
chirp
I'm like,
chopping.
Wait a minute. I want to chirp-ciprocate here and I can't chirp-ciprocate.
Butler doesn't care about anybody. Like he'll walk
by
by
himself.
He'll walk by the painters and chirp at them and ask them like, Hey, how's
the weather up there?
yeah. But then just keep walking. Well, he didn't even care about the answer.
Wait for the answer.
He just wanted to yell at the painters. So it's a de-evolved form of chirping. Like it's the original.
It's the original chirp.
Yeah, but you're an evolved chirper where you want the reciprocal chirping back at you, and you'll stand there and chirp for a while. Choppers don't do it, so that's the difference.
Next email, Samantha.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing more chirps.
Yeah, well, I got rid of the other ones were guys calling back and they'd be like, yeah, listen to the show, or I'm a chirper. And it's like, yeah, we know.
Well, since Tom still thought the Olympics was going on, let's read this about the Olympics.
Okay.
I was recently listening to an episode of ACT where you talked about the Olympics and how it had such low ratings, and the only reason people seem to watch anymore is due to patriotism. This was actually the first Olympics that I've tuned into or even paid attention to. While I've been working, I've had it on in the background and was trying to keep up with all the sports that don't make any sense, like handball, and the new addition, skateboarding. It's also been really interesting to watch the U.S. going from behind in gold medals around the beginning to edging out past China to have the most gold by only one medal. But what's really been fascinating is how many amazing stories have come out about the athletes from our country in different countries, such as the Olympic swimmer from Syria who fled to Greece and had to help pull their raft through open water for over 3 hours after their engine failed. Or Tamura Mensah-Stock becoming the first U.S. black woman to win gold in wrestling.
Saw that.
Or all the other firsts to happen for other foreign countries who were competing. It may have had low viewership, but it also has been really exciting to follow along with everyone. Other countries included have done this year, and all the amazing athletes who were there representing their countries.
I like, what I determined I think maybe you fall in here a little bit, Tom.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much with the Olympics, but I found that like World Cup, Olympics, big, grandiose sporting competitions, Invicta games, let's say that. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the one for, is that military? Is that the military games, the Invicta games?
Maybe.
I think it might be. The one where Prince Harry's connected to, I think that's Invicta. Anyway, all of these, if they televise them and I could just have them on in my office or at my house at all times, I would. I like having live sporting
Invictus
events.
Games, international sporting event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women.
It's really cool and it's huge, but I think
that's called good for alehouse bar.
But I like that stuff. I don't know. There's something about it when it's on at the house. If it's just on in the background, it's kind of cool and it's live, so you feel sort of connected to it. There's an energy there.
True, and it's good. And Andrea was playing the Olympics all the time, and some people, like this particular person, liked the stories and liked the Olympics, but
Andrea loves it.
It still doesn't negate the fact that it seemed to me, at least, and I don't know about everybody else, but my perspective was that people were less interested this year than they were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I agree.
And 4 years before that, like they were talking
and
about it
did
less.
have lower ratings, right?
Yeah, it had lower ratings, and then it was talked about less on social media, or that we're getting more cluttered, so it just got lost.
The only thing that was really talked about was like the controversial stuff, not the actual sporting events.
But even the
even
the controversies happen in today's news cycle where they're like they're gone because you're getting so many stories thrown at you that it may just, not that people are less interested, it just got lost in the clutter, right?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
maybe that's it. It's like people are as interested as they were, but they just are distracted by more.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's probably what we saw. Right?
Yeah.
And that's only getting worse, right? And like 4 years from now, are we at maximum distraction?
Or it could just be there's other stuff we'd rather watch. You know?
Like
maybe we were interested in it, but now we got other stuff that we're more interested in.
And couldn't it come back around, like if we had one really high profile, let's say snowboarder or something for Winter Olympics? I mean, it could come around where we would be more interested in Winter Olympics than summer, right? Or no? Or are you arguing that once it's gone, it's gone?
Well, I'm arguing now that we've reached maximum distraction, which is an awesome monster truck name. That there's no way to ever have the popularity of anything, because it's all going to be
kind of like the old Beatles effect of there'll never be a band that big because of the way we consume things.
Yeah. So there's.
Yeah,
and
I think there's something to that.
Have we reached?
We've changed between Olympics. Like,
well, we have the unlimited choices.
But I mean, even between the last Olympics that got decent viewership and this Olympics in 4 years' time, or longer than that because of the pandemic, the changes that we made as a world were so. I mean, like, right?
Huge.
That's what happened.
The pandemic was another worldwide event that changed people's cultures everywhere.
Yeah.
And by
it also
that
changed
I mean it's
our
like
routines, what we consume, what we enjoy.
Pushed everybody more towards the internet faster, right? It's like we're already going that way, and then all of a sudden it just like boom, and a drastic spike of like, all right, now it's way more people and it happened way faster than it normally
I can watch
would've.
Sports that I really don't get to see very often, that I don't fully understand, or I'm already on the internet, I can watch the newest season of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Or
is that what happened?
Or just scroll through Facebook, or you know, it's
or
like,
create your own content, make some money, or whatever.
Right.
But it's
like, we're not even thinking about the people that are making their own videos and don't care to consume.
Think about just like scrolling social media. That takes a lot of people's attention, and I'm probably the majority of people's attention, right? Younger generations, so they're just scrolling Facebook. So it's like just that. They're not listening to like a long form anything. They're just scrolling TikTok and watching garbage videos, and like they'll do that for 40 minutes instead of consume any other show or a 40-minute sitcom, or you know. And so that's distracting a lot of people. Think about how, like, I do it, so I know what happens to other people, where I'll watch a show and then I'll just find myself picking up my phone and just scroll through TikTok, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, am I watching the show, or am I scrolling my social media? But like, my brain is addicted to, like, the show's not happening fast enough. So I'm like, oh, let's see what's happening. Like, it's like the ADD, which I'm sure
I think
doesn't
that's
help.
one of the biggest reasons for people to go back to movie theaters, right? Because you just go in and you put your phone down for like 2 hours and you just focus on that movie.
Yeah, but it's probably...
That's hard for me to do.
Hard for people to... Yeah, hard for a lot of people to do.
Admittedly,
it was nice to do that. Like, I went and saw The Jungle Cruise in theaters, and I was like, oh, that was nice to
I've heard that's a good-ass
not
movie.
get distracted and like solely focus on this movie.
You should force yourself to do it because like not being able to sit down and watch something for 2 hours.
We're all multitasking all the time.
I hate it. That's why I play guitar. I put my phone down, I turn it off, and I sit there and I play guitar for like an hour. And when I'm done, it's amazing. You stand up and you're like, oh. I feel really good. It's like it's almost like your mind is just like, oh, thank you for not giving me that stupid device.
I never understood the whole disconnecting thing. I went to the woods and I disconnected or whatever. Like, I was like, okay, what are,
it's really nice.
What are you, some kind of hippie?
But I know exactly what that feels like because I feel a difference if I leave my phone or I don't have my phone on me or whatever, and I'm out in the world with no phone. I'm like, first you get a feeling of panic, like, oh God, like, what if someone's trying to get a hold of me? Then you slowly revert back to remembering what it was like without a phone, which is, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna go.
Kids growing up will never know that feeling because they've always had a way to contact them.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
So think about the panic they will have if they are like out of range or something, or they lose their phone. You're gonna have panic attacks.
Maybe you train them and you disconnect them on purpose so that they know the difference. Maybe that'll be a thing. And maybe I should focus on that with Tommy and Max. We're like, hey, we're disconnecting.
When you guys go camping next February, are you guys gonna disconnect? Are you gonna have your phones and tablets?
How am I gonna do TikToks of us in the woods?
Yeah, everybody's
That'd
gonna
be
have
a good
their phones.
opportunity to do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the first day in the canoe. I'm gonna do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit as we're going down the river. Then I'm gonna do a long form IGTV. I'm gonna go live on IGTV. Then I'm gonna do a Facebook panel. I'm gonna do a panel.
Then I'm gonna give it to my sons.
Then we're doing
tent.
tree con.
Yeah. So they shut up and like, here's
we're bringing
iPhone.
A projector. We're doing movie night.
The whole electronics.
Then we're doing
what you described is awesome.
We're doing a Smash Bros contest under the stars.
Yeah.
Winner gets the world's largest s'mores. I mean, the people that do this kind of stuff that don't fight it, like just the dumb dads like us, they go like, absolutely, we're going back to nature. What are we, John Candy and Dan Aykroyd? Go out there, a couple of fat dads, and then leave our phone. No, just take the phones and just lean into the technology.
Dude, when I was in Croom Forest riding four-wheelers and stuff, there was because I was saying the same thing to Crystal, and this when the kids were a little younger or whatever, 2 years ago. I was like, it's good that we're out here. They don't have any video games. They don't have any distraction. No screens.
Yeah, they're miserable.
Yeah. But then I look over, and then like 2 campsites down, they just put all the kids in their trailer, which they set up a video game console and a TV in there, and then all the kids were in there playing the video games,
having the time of their life. And then parents are out by the fire drinking.
And then I'm like, well, maybe that's it. That looks better and probably more enjoyable for the kids because then so they don't sit, because you know what, kids don't like sitting looking at the fire,
sitting around talking.
And we don't even like that because we have to be drunk. I couldn't do it sober.
Daddy's drunk. Go look for antlions.
Yeah. Like,
my dad used to have me go look for antlions. Go look for bull ants.
I wouldn't camp if I couldn't get drunk. So why do I expect my kids to not play video games? Like,
I told Andrea's like, are you going to drink on the camping trip? Because I'm not drinking right
crazy.
now. Andrea's like, are you going to drink on the camping trip? I'm like, I can't. I'm not going. I mean, you can go by yourself. You can take Maisie if you want to. I'll stay at home.
There's no reason to camp without getting effed up.
That's like asking a pirate to sail the 7 seas without rum in his boat.
And I mean, like, when you get a different type of drunk, when you're camping drunk, you're like the drunk you see on Cops or whatever.
Yeah, taser drunk. I got taser drunk.
Yeah. Where you can't even really function.
You go 1 step forward, 3 steps back. You know,
you can barely. You're like, I can't even go to the woods to pee.
No,
because I'll fall down.
You just pee your jeans. I think you're gonna like this one. It has to do with a long con. One of the better long cons I've heard.
Hey guys, BDM Ben here, the YFC guy. I was listening to one of the shows where Tom was talking about the long cons he plays on his kids, and it reminded me that growing up, my parents lied to my sisters and I and told us that the ice cream truck only played music when they were out of ice cream as some sort of like apology. And I don't know how I fell for it for so long, but when I was at a friend's...
Okay, can anybody else hear the real sadness in his voice a little bit? I think I can.
Well, was your mom telling you that so you wouldn't buy ice cream?
Well,
yes.
He continues.
So he wouldn't ask.
Okay.
If you're listening in your car, listen for the sadness.
And I don't know how I fell for it for so long, but when I was at a friend's house and we heard the truck coming, I was like, don't bother, they're out of ice cream. And my buddy Sean looked at me like I was the biggest dodo on the planet. And he set the record straight, and
set the record
the betrayal I felt at the time.
Oh, I've been so
was worse
mad.
than finding out about Santa, the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all that put together.
It's bad, man.
Okay,
that's a bad one, Ben. I am sorry.
Maybe
that's a
your
bad
mom didn't
one.
have the money for the ice cream.
That's what I think he goes on to say. I mean, like, I think just the delivery of the way he said it when he's like, my friend Sean, you can hear it. Like, I'm like, that's sad, man. That's a sad one. We didn't even have the
It's kind of funny, though.
It's very funny, but we didn't have the ice cream truck on my street, so I always didn't understand that. You know, like I had friends that had the ice cream truck. They were the kids that lived closer to the actual center of DeLand. You know, like where the ice cream truck
more
would be.
kids are.
We're in a very small town.
We still get the ice cream truck even now. Every once in a while,
We don't. We never get it here, man.
Probably
I get like a snow cone guy coming
times.
around every once in a while.
We got the Kona Ice guy.
Yeah, that's what I got.
So
the little penguin with
Yeah.
the Hawaiian shirt. That's my body style.
It's
a penguin with a Hawaiian shirt.
It's a great long con if it was intended to be a long con, but it sounds like it was intended for an excuse so you wouldn't ask to buy ice cream, and in that way, your mom's an old bitch, right?
Well, no, but it serves a purpose.
Unless
because
he couldn't
didn't
afford
have the
it.
money and it hurts her heart
Yeah, but
every
he
time
didn't
you
say that.
ask.
He didn't say that. If he were to preface it like, "Hey, we grew up super poor," and she told me that, then you wouldn't be as mad. But he sounded devastated, so it was like he sounded like your mom could afford the ice cream. She just didn't want to pay it too cheap. Mean old bitch.
We had the Schwann's man.
Team mean old bitch.
Yeah, we had the Schwann's man. He would come by and he would, but like we never had the traditional white
ice cream
truck drives up playing the music and the guy's handing. I think I've probably only done that a couple of times. One of them I think was with you at your house.
Yeah. There's some ice cream truck.
What?
Yeah.
You got
I'll come to your house for the ice cream truck.
You know what's weird is ice cream trucks
are only in third world.
Well, it is.
It's population based, I believe.
And maybe because the poor kids are outside more. I don't know. Like, it seems
they
like
definitely came through Taft a lot.
Yeah. Like I remember.
Oh, wait a minute, you might be onto something. So you're looking for poor outdoor kids?
Maybe yes, because
we're out there to hear those trucks.
I was a poor outdoor. Okay, all of us here poor outdoor kids.
Yeah.
So we all saw them as kids. Okay, yeah, you might be onto something, dude.
You know,
I don't see any kids playing out here. Not any yards around here. I mean, most of these are like
there's like a handful of like maybe middle school kids in my neighborhood, but other than that, I don't see really any kids out.
That's weird too, because you're in a nice.
But it's a smaller little section of a neighborhood.
You're in a nice spot. I would think there'd be a lot of like families there.
I think they're more around the outside neighborhoods.
Huh.
It's a weird generational thing.
You got a lot of kids on your street or not? Just you guys?
I didn't used to, but now I do.
Okay.
So we've lived there for 11 years now. So
God.
we saw literally people die off, and then families buy the houses. And then start a family,
right?
And then now we have kids in the neighborhood. So it's like we saw after 11 years of staying anywhere, you'll see the natural progression of like people dying off and then new families moving in and starting a family, or like we did, we had kids like 5 years into living there, and that happened as well too. But when we moved in, there was only old people on our block. And barely any kids. We get no trick or treaters.
I have more older people too.
But if you stay there 11 years, you'll see the transition of your neighbors. Like the old people will either move or die off. Their kids will sell their house to a family, and then that family.
Or maybe, just maybe,
kids.
the dumb old man will get drunk and take his Ambien and then pull his gun out and start shooting at cops. And then he'll have to move away because he brought shame to the family. Could be something like that.
It's weird that we're saying that ice cream trucks are a more lower income neighborhood thing.
Well, I feel like people with money actually have like the boxes of ice cream in their freezer.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we never had like
it's
ice
a blue
cream
collar
cones
thing,
in our
right? It's like my dad comes out and he gets out his wallet and pays for it. You know, the rich kids are already inside. They have those jumbo refrigerators, those Viking refrigerators, double doors. They open it up. They got all the ice cream bars. Their mom just did an order from Kroger delivery.
But rich kids like to spend money. So if they heard the ice cream truck, like if you pulled an ice cream truck out here, I mean, there's plenty of kids
There's
that live
lots of
here.
kids around
Well,
here,
not right
yeah.
now. They're in school, but
Well, I'm just saying,
It's early day, though.
like after school, I would.
how do you know that? And most moms don't.
Tracy put it in the chat.
It may be a.
You're the best non-mom mom I've ever met.
Baldwin Park may not allow them in here. Like
That's true, too.
It could be an association thing. They don't want.
Really?
Yeah.
Some won't.
Well,
yeah,
I don't like
some
that.
associations.
Oh, hold on a
won't.
second.
Yeah, they don't want their.
No, I don't.
They don't want
that.
kids running out to the street.
I don't
Or,
like that. That's
like-
lame, dude.
Or some Bobo van.
Well, dude, I mean, you can't. When we had.
can't tell an ice cream. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Baldwin Park can tell an ice cream truck they can't come in here.
I think you could say we do not allow other businesses to come in here without our permission.
I don't like that.
It makes perfect
I
sense.
kinda feel
Dude,
like the ice
we couldn't
cream
even have
man-
red curtains. They sent us
I
a
know.
letter after one day. Like that's what
I know.
higher
That's
price
what bored white people do.
associations you pay to keep the trash out. Listen, ice cream trucks aren't the most glamorous thing. Look at them. They got a
Yeah.
rusted AC unit. And
Most of them are not good.
There's got to be a guy that kind of does it right? Like the upscale ice cream guy.
Too
Like, I'm
expensive.
changing the game.
You need a small. I mean, it's so small margins, and you're driving around like there's such small money to be made. Usually, it's people that want to do it or are looking for like things to do.
Or they are pedophiles.
A good side gig, right?
Is that what you wanted to say?
No. That's an urban legend.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense because it's like.
When do we get to have like a beer truck for the adults, or like a margarita truck or something, where they can drive around the neighborhood and sell alcohol?
I don't see why they couldn't.
At your house. You're not driving.
Yeah, why
they're
couldn't they?
driving, and they're not consuming. They're just driving it around.
Why couldn't they pull up the truck? You walk out with a
Right?
cup. Oh, what ounce? That's
Pina
a
colada.
32
you want a
ounce
margarita.
$5. You pull a big.
Yeah.
Give me a slushy, and you're on your way.
It
Should I
makes
shut the hell up and we do this, or what?
No.
Not a bad idea. We just
Here's-
need an old tanker
the
and
idea.
a team of sweeties.
The idea makes
Boys
sense,
and girls.
but
Me
we
and
don't.
my husband are gonna do this.
If you saw the margarita truck,
You're out there in the bikini,
Yeah.
shirtless.
well, it's like if we saw a knife sharpening truck, we wouldn't know what the hell it was.
Right.
But if you lived in Miami or
You'd know.
or Mexico, or
I'll
any
scream
place-
it over the loudspeaker.
Yeah, but people are like will be cautious and be like, "What the hell?" Like, because there's never been a thing. So I think you wouldn't get any customers because people would be
I
like,
get customers.
They-
I know where the alcoholics
Well,
live.
beer truck would be hard because I feel like all your beer would be fizzy.
from just
You're
driving,
shaking it up.
Well, you'd have to have like cans of bottles.
No, I
like,
mean, but even then, you want to keep that stuff pretty still, right?
I guess wouldn't be that shaken up.
You know,
right?
I drove by Baywash, the
Oh, yeah.
bikini car wash, 2 days ago.
Yep.
They are now wearing jean shorts.
Oh,
This is where we're at now.
Like, you sure? Was it in the
Blue
summer?
jean shorts.
you know, when we went to Hourglass a couple weeks ago, me and Dan drove past, and they weren't even out
they
there.
weren't even out there. I think
So
it's
maybe something happened. Maybe some complaints.
I think they all got COVID.
So they cover their asses.
Yeah, that's it.
I ain't wearing a mask, but I wear my
I'll
jean
cover
short.
my butt.
We met the owner of that place, and it didn't seem like he's going to cave to social media pressure.
No,
No,
Yeah.
no, he didn't see that. No, something
Yeah.
was up though. They weren't open. When Sam and I went by, it was like peak time, and we're like,
Yeah.
"Where are they? Hot outside."
They're probably having the same problem every business is having, where they can't find employees. So I'm guessing that washing cars in a bikini would have to garner a certain amount of money for you to be willing to do that. And now that there's unlimited jobs available, maybe you'd choose something different.
Okay, this is my theory. OnlyFans says we're taking away pornographic acts. The car wash suddenly has a bunch of girls in jean shorts washing cars. OnlyFans changes their minds. Car wash is closed again. There you go. That's what happened.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't keep up with social media news.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
like, yeah, but I have no idea.
Last voicemail.
Yep.
Hey guys, BDM Captain Dano here. Let me preface this message with I am a licensed captain, commercial fisherman. I was listening to the Friday Free Show while I was laying fiberglass on a commercial vessel that I'm building, and then just listen to the BDM show, and oh boy, I can't wait to hear the stories about Seth and his jet boat, which is going to be a mechanical nightmare. And then, Tom, since you're a gambling man, if that one hub blew and then you got 3 others that have the same exact mileage, same exact condition, you don't gamble that The other 3 are in somewhat the same condition that are possibly going to have a catastrophic failure.
I know. I'm changing them all.
I just recommend to save your money, spend like the $150, replace the other 3,
Where was this guy
have an extra one on you. Like you said, once you know how to do them, it's easy to do. Yeah. I've blown them on I-4 when I'm traveling, commercial fishing, and literally have changed a hub and a blown tire in 15 minutes.
Nice.
That's with a friend. But I'll post some boat pictures on the BDM page once I figure that out.
Did you buy an extra just in case the next time it blows out?
The one extra, that black one that I put on, first, it's not marine grade, so it's painted. It's not meant for boat trailers. So I just bought galvanized hubs, complete with the bearings packed and everything in there. It's like $56 for the whole thing, and about 4 of those. And I took the old ones out and put that on.
Oh, are you done now?
I got 2 more to do today.
Nice.
And then I took the black one, and I'm just keeping that one for a spare.
Yeah,
in
that's
case,
good.
And then I'm
perfect. And then there's no waste. Oh my God, dude, he's not even throwing away the one that's not marine grade.
I bought some bearings. I thought I was gonna pack my own bearings and rebuild the hub, and I abandoned
that's
that.
Fine.
After the races and figuring out how to install those. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. And then
the chat room's proud of you. I know you don't care what they say. But
and then I'm putting one of those little little butt plug jacks.
Excuse me?
You know, like that little
You don't have a butt plug jack?
The little...
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's like the charge jacks. Like a tiny cylinder.
Yeah.
I got one of those. Oh, what's happening again?
Ooh, that was a beefy one.
Yeah, what the hell out of here.
I was about to scream, I'm cured. This is never
Need
gonna
another
happen again.
Ricola.
One Ricola from Sam's pocket. It did the trick.
Because it went
I
away.
only brought one. Sorry.
That's all she had.
Anyway, I'm putting it all in one bag with a grease gun, all the tools to change it, and then I'm keeping it with me when I tow the boat.
Where? You need to broadcast where you keep it. So when you do forget, you can ask any listener, where did I put my bug out bag? Or, where's my sealed bearing bag?
I'm probably just going to throw it in the back of my truck because I don't tow the boat that often because most of the time it's at the marina.
You got any hidden compartments on that truck that you can stuff it in? Under the seat or something where you can just kind of tuck it away? That way you don't have to... Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to put it in there and then have your wife go, hey, we're going to Miami. We need to clean out the car. Clean out the car. That bag goes inside. Then you decide, let's take the boat. You take the boat. It's inside. You're going down the road. Then she took it out. Like, that's how it happens. I can write these stories all day long. I've been through enough of them.
Well, that's where I have to be cognizant enough to be like, I'm trailing the boat. Let's plan a little bit, but it goes against everything. I'll be on the side of the road. I'll be dead. I'll be dead. 100%.
Okay.
Dead.
All right. Well, on that note, bye-bye.